3, 2, 1.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and let's get ready for EJ Boxing Live.
6 feet. 6 feet. 6 feet. That's what they say, stay back. They say like stay back. 6 feet. And now it's time for the coconut.
Tanking the bangers. 6 feet. Social distancing. We're tanking the bangers. EJ Boxing Live. And we're going to talk about, are we our gods? Are we our own gods and demons? I don't know about demons. So we hopefully get a panel. I'm going to bring some guys on. Hopefully D-Stars might come on, man. Let me see if I can bring D-Stars. Let me see if D-Stars can come on.
I told you, stay 6 feet back, like a good neighbor. Stay 6 feet back.
Oh, yeah.
I told you, stay 6 feet back, like a good neighbor. Stay 6 feet back, yeah. I never do it much. I bet you wonder when I'm gonna bring this in, huh? Here we go. That's why people say don't go out to the cookout, because I really don't want y'all to go out at all. Stay inside. Take a walk.
Social distancing.
Get your gloves on. And that's pretty much it of it all. Don't go out to the cookout. Don't go out to the cookout.
Yeah, anyways, yo. So that was tanking the bangers. So we're gonna talk about like everyone's talking about D-Star set the trend. I see him having a debate with what's that guy's name again? Duncan Atheist and them guys there. So I'm gonna do a debate on it, man. Are we our own gods? I don't know about demons there. I should have looked at the description when I was writing there. But are we our own gods? I was saying like depends on how you're, what religion or where you come from and stuff like that. Like I was saying to the guys, yeah, that when you first start off, yeah, like you're indoctrinated into religion, like when you're young and Christianity, I don't know, Muslim, whatever it is, you're indoctrinated straight in from the jump, yeah. Obviously it's not, but this is not a boxing topic, innit? Straight, you're indoctrinated in, so you haven't really got a choice. But the first teacher of you when obviously is you when your first memories, it's gonna be your parents, whether that be your mom, your dad, both of them. It's gonna be your first parents. So are we saying that our mom and our dads are gods to us? Just saying, like, I was saying again, with every religion, yeah, they have a statue built after them. Like people worship Michael Jackson, they got a statue worship, but they worship Michael Jackson, statue built after him. Haile Selassie from Jamaica, obviously with the Jamaican religion, they have a statue built after him. They have a statue of Allah. Is it Allah or Muhammad? Peace be upon him. For the Muslim, I'm sure they go to Mecca. Statue. They got a statue of him. I think they got paintings and stuff like that. So you have something visually to look at. And obviously with Christianity, you have Jesus Christ to look at. The Son of God embodied him in him. The Buddha in the China, they have obviously the Buddha. It looks like them. I think the Hindus, they have an elephant. I can keep going on. They have symbolisms that look like them. People say you shouldn't worship idols, but the nature of man is to worship funny. People even worship money. You know what I mean? People worship money like that. You can say people worship money, especially in where we think money to them is money people's god. Is it? You could say people could say that. Even some people worship their phones, man. If some people lose their phones, you know how nauseous they'd get because they put a lot of information in their phones. They put a lot of investment in that. So let's talk about investment, right? When you put a lot of investment into religion or into the church, into the pastor, into your parish, then you have a stock in it, right? So in that you embody it, yeah. So you come a part of it. Then you're talking about the spirituality side of it. What does it do for you? How do you feel about yourself? Because everything we do, really and truly, if you really think about it, right, we can try and say we're not selfish and we always do things to help people. But even helping people makes us feel good. So everything we do is to indulge in other people. You know what I'm saying? The nature of man and woman, and I say man and woman, is it's all about sensation of how they make them feel. Everything we do makes us feel a certain way. I need to eat. Why? Because I'm hungry. Why? Because it makes you feel good. I need to be married. Why? Because I need company. You know what I'm saying? Like everything we do is company. So in Burton's talking about the religion, or just like what do you believe in? Are we our own gods? Are we gods on the planet to ourselves? Like many gods and scoring amongst each other, especially in this hard time as well. I'm surprised this video I'm surprised it's not even bloody serving up though, because but I don't think some of you guys that are probably listening or not listening, it's not a boxing topic, so I can see why you guys are it's not really circulating right now. It's not really circulating like because on okay, because on these I think what's his name? Unbiased has got holding us the same thing right now on the topic, and these other so I guess my crowd is not really religiously interested in the topic right now. I was hoping some guys. I'm gonna put a link in the chat. You guys can jump in if you want to jump in and talk about it. There you go. There's the link in the chat. You're welcome to jump in. Let me circulate the video actually. Circulate the video. In the meantime, and play some music in the background. Shall I play some music in the background while we're waiting? Got this new track I was gonna play. Not Courtney Sons. What's this? Okay, this one over here, isn't it? Yeah, play this track. Yeah, play this track while I circulate the video. So hopefully that by the time I come back, yeah, hopefully people go and listen. Circulate live J5. Tribute to Kobe Bryant.
As a youth, I was compelled to rock well. I go through a spell with an L and a cocktail. If you going hard and never quit, you cannot fail. Gain most of my knowledge from some books in the lock cell. We only wanted what some others had. Never met my father, never even met my mother's dad. Everything I learned was on some street shit, really. Before I break the code, my motherfuckers gotta kill me. Never played it cautious, never looked up to the bosses. Know a well-played shot can have them leaking like a faucet. Know I should've tossed it, but I just held the shit firm. Running up on niggas like they smoky and I'm big worm. From what I can discern, hell is hot, this shit burn. I be feeling lost like a misturn. Still I make the bitch squirm. Liver full of liquor just to help a nigga sleep at night. Never gave a flying fuck, that's probably the key to life. Don't pump your bricks when you see the light. Keep it cool, stay quiet when he run his mouth. That's how you keep a fool. The main reason that I keep a tool is only principles. So if you gotta meet the reaper, cool. Never bargain what they did on purpose. Never be a puppet in their circus. As if your time is worthless. Cause time is money, you can never get the time back. Took some time to learn inside my mind, I was confined at. We only wanted what we earned. Why should we have to wait our turn? Why should we have concern? Ignorant to the lessons, curses felt like blessings. Even if you stress it, never give up no confession. Never take that cigarette and soda when they question. They ain't got no power, you won't get what you was destined. And that's just how the world was meant to be. Every entity that you come in contact with, you attract it mentally. It popped into my head, and I understood it instantly. They don't want the new J5, they want the vintage me. Thought about it pensively. I can't make no backtracks, even though I love the shit we did. I get flashbacks. Had to quit the hustle when they start stashing an ass. I just rather flash gats and that's the way the cash at. I'm just a product of my upbringing. I'm just from that era, knock me down and I get up swinging. I've been spitting bars, fuck singing, this my whole thing. Whoever at the top, give them this message from the old king. About to fuck it up again. Rappers like my old fling, before that fat nigga or that nigga with the nose ring. I'm just like a daddy to these 80 babies, maybe. I was grimy in the 90s when the suits was getting shiny. Then in the millennium when they gave the crown to Eminem, I had niggas trembling from homonyms and synonyms. Nowadays they feminine and really ain't no defending them. So if they start the beef, I don't fuck around amending them.
That's my man live, J5, boy. Yo, we come about religion, man. I'm still waiting for people to jump in, man. I'm circulating the video. Maybe my channel's a boxing channel, so but these still set the trend. I'm gonna continue the trend. We're gonna talk about religion. I need someone to bounce off with, man. I know Smoke's over there on Thingy's channel, so the link's right there. If you're in the waiting and backstage, just wait there. I'll come a second. We're gonna talk about this religion today. We're gonna get this popping. Everyone go to we all boxing guys, man. Let's see what people believe in. Ain't no disrespect. Y'all, the way you believe is what you believe in, man. We don't talk that thing. In this time, people are looking for something right now. For all the people who go church every Sunday, they've been going church Sunday for like 30, 40 years. You know, man, the pressure's on, boy. And how they gonna get their Sunday service? You know what I'm saying? I'm sure the pastor must have worked out something for real. Oh, there we go. D Styles. Is it my man? I'm passing out, bro. It's because it's late in the US, but I'll come on quickly. All right, cool. You come on? All right, nice one, D. Let me see if you're in there. See my man D Styles. There he is. D Styles. What's up, man?
What's going on, EJ? Can you hear me, bro?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear, boy. Duncan Atheist. What's going on, bro?
So, I mean, I was in the other stream. I was really intrigued, and I wanted to kind of stay on, but it's like late over here and stuff.
Yeah.
But I know you're playing, so let me just drop by really quick.
No, I appreciate it, man. Like them boys over there, like when because you want to try and get your points out without getting like, you know, they done a good job. They're okay, but you know, but go ahead anyway. What do you think? Are we on gods?
No, I thought it was cool. They let me get my points out and all that. You know what I mean? Sometimes when I talk to religious people, I like to ask questions because I want to know their perspective. You know what I mean? I want to know where they're coming from. I want to know where their mind is. Because once I know where their mind is, I could kind of evaluate myself where I was at a certain point.
Yeah.
Because EJ, at one point I was a devoted Catholic. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then from a devoted Catholic, I basically dropped to just being kind of just like a vague Christian. And then I went from that to like a deist, where I believe there's a God, but I don't know there's a specific God. And now, not that I've ruled that out, or anything out, but now I'm basically just at a agnostic. That's where I stand right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I've never heard that before. Another thing as well, you said creationist. That's another thing as well, because I was like, what? Where's these terms coming from? But obviously,
I mean, feel free to ask me. Feel free to ask me any questions.
Yeah, all right. Let's go with creationist. What is a creationist?
A creationist is the way I see it, right? It's someone who believes that a God, and this is mostly Christians, but other religions may feel the same way, that a God created the universe as we know it. Like everything you know, like you yourself, you were just created by God, like us as humans. The animals, the land, the mountains, everything. God created all of it. Like it didn't evolve to what it is now. There was no evolution. There's no, and most, although it varies, some creationists believe the Earth is 2,000 years old. I've heard 5,000. I've heard 10,000. I believe the Earth is, hundreds of millions of years or whatever it is, billions of years old. I think the universe is at least billions of years old, and we know this by examining the stars. The stars are millions of light years away. So when we see a star vanish, we're literally witnessing a star that vanished, millions of years ago. You know what I mean?
No, man.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what a creationist is. Like most, not all, but most Christians are creationists. They deny evolution.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about. So when you talk to any Christian, any person who believes in God, the main thing is, and I've listened to, because I was listening to Duncan Atheist. The main question you ask them, and a lot of people who believe in it's Gnostic or atheist, the main question is that how can you prove God exists? Prove it to me. And why do they have trouble proving that? Like, if you believe in it, like it should be simple for you to prove it, right?
Well, there is an assumption, EJ, that every atheist or agnostic, especially agnostics, want to be right. I'm not trying to be right, bro. You know what I mean? Like, if someone can give me a convincing, compelling argument that a God, not just like, dude, just a God. It doesn't have to be a specific God exists. You know what I mean? To me, that would bring a lot of, if for lack of a better term, joy to my life, because the idea that the lights just turn off when we die, and there's no justice at the end of the tunnel or anything like that. And I could go deeper into that if you want me to, but that idea scares a lot of people. It doesn't like scare me to where I'm like not living my life or anything. I would just prefer some answers. You know what I mean? I think I like the idea of there being some all-knowing God. I just don't have any evidence of it. You know what I mean? So I know that I've searched for it and I couldn't find it. So, and I've honestly searched. So when someone tells me that they know there's a God, then I have to ask the question, like, how do you know? You know what I mean? And the reason they have trouble answering it is because they don't have an answer, bro.
Wouldn't they answer with their experiences, like a near-death experience? Like I'll give you an example, right? Years ago, I was feeling suicidal, and I was thinking about killing myself, right? And I was very close to doing it, but something inside of me said, nah. But I don't know if you might say that might be a mental breakdown, whatever, like, but there was voices inside my head just saying, like, go do it. Like, really encouraging me to do it. And then obviously, like, screaming for me to do it, right. Because I think in the Bible, remember again, I think bearing in mind I was a Christian, I think bearing in the Bible, it says that if you kill yourself, Christian, you can't go to heaven because God gave you life. You can't take your life away. I was a Christian at the time, right? So I don't know if that was going through my head, whatever, but I did like be vividly hearing like thing, and I realized at that point, whatever was going on, it was like it wasn't nice. It was like some real devilish shit. Yeah, that's what I felt, right? And it was like I was at rock bottom. But from then, I said I vowed I'd never be to that state again. I'd never get myself to the point where I felt suicidal. And then what was the other thing? I had a dream yesterday because I was watching all the videos of that guy Duncan Atheist, right? And I was listening to his and I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. All of the discussions, this guy, he's deep. He's very, if in boxing, if he was a boxer, I think he'd be Floyd Mayweather. This guy, pure counter. It's like he has a way of turning it around. Like, you ask him a question, he has a way of turning it around, and then all of a sudden you're just.
I disagree with you, but
no. I mean, he's slippery. I was trying to give a count. Like, he's very slippery. You was on him, but he's very slippery. That's what I mean. I could have said Pound Whitaker, but he's very slippery, and all of a sudden, like, you might ask him a question, he'll ask you a question, and he never really asks your question. He'll just keep offensively asking you a question. I was like, yo, that's what I was finding about. Anyway, so another situation, So I was watching the videos. Then yesterday I had a nightmare dream, that the bloody whole world broke in, and like blood, the whole earth just broke down, and it was just pure fire from the ground. I swear, I said, nah, I need to stop watching this stuff. But these religion, I'm not gonna lie, I'm quite enjoying your debates on your channel with other guys talking about it. It's interesting to know about other things, other than boxing. But go ahead, see what you say. No specific question.
Well, well, first, I'm glad you got through that. I'm glad we saw have EJ Boxing Live with us. You know what I mean? But I mean, so let me put it this way: I'm not denying that you heard voices in your head.
Yeah.
You probably did. But who's to say it wasn't a subconscious kind of your subconscious speaking to you? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
If that's the case, what is the subconscious then? What is that then?
Well, let me say this. Like the subconscious basically is, you know, it's still your mind, bro. It's just like, you know, it's.
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, we have this, like the brain is like an onion, right? You have to peel it in layers.
All right.
Okay. The subconscious mind is things you do or think, okay, even through your through the mind you control, right? So if you've ever imagined yourself, you know, let's say someone confronted you and got in your face and scared you, right? Your subconscious mind will admit to itself that it scared you. But even the mind, even the voice in your head that you speak to, you can talk to yourself and convince yourself you weren't scared, but your subconscious mind knows it was, right?
That's very good, because in the Bible, Paul, I think Paul heard a voice in the Bible. Is it Paul or one of the guys? One of the prophets heard a voice in his head telling him something that you know what I'm saying? Like, so who is that voice? Some people deem that to be God, but you don't say that's God.
It's like, let me put it this way, bro. Your subconscious mind, like, you know how like you could even lie to yourself?
Yeah, you can. You know
you cannot lie to yourself. Like, even when you're lying to yourself, you know you're lying to yourself. Your subconscious mind knows that.
Okay, yeah.
That's what makes people feel guilty and stuff like that. It gets, you know, I'm not like an expert in that field to kind of give you a clear rundown on that, but what I'm trying to get at is in terms of you know, this world we live in. Okay, we're all going to have experiences, and we're all going to experience things, right? But here's what I'm trying to get at. So those voices you heard, maybe it wasn't your subconscious mind. Maybe it was some supernatural shit. Maybe it was. I don't know.
I feel so. What are you telling me to? Because I know I wouldn't tell myself to kill myself. I know I wouldn't do that. Like, I mean,
I got you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, but what I'm trying to get at is, even if it was some supernatural stuff, how do you know it had anything to do with Christianity or Islam?
That's
how do you know it has anything to do?
Well, that's a good point. But when that comes into the whole perception about heaven and hell, right? Because I'm thinking about killing myself. So where am I gonna go? You see what I'm saying? Like, so if I kill myself, if we're saying we're gonna go somewhere, you know what I mean? That's you see what I'm gonna say. So that's what I mean. That kind of got to, like, I'm not gonna. I mean, to get to the point. I mean, I have to kind of illustrate to get to the point where you're actually thinking of taking your life. Not, it's the serious shit. That's some serious shit, yeah. And I was really, so
it is serious. Yes.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna say to you, and that you're thinking about it so much, yeah, that you're gonna do it, yeah, but you don't but you're getting pushed in your mind, then like, you know, that they say some people kill people, they heard voices in their head to go kill all these people, and they went and did it. Well, I heard the voices, but I didn't do it. You know what I'm trying to say? So that I'm glad I didn't. But you go ahead.
Well, I mean, I kind of understand what you're saying, but it is possible to, like, I'm not in your mind. I can't, you know, disprove how you felt or what you heard. There's no way to kind of dive into that.
Yeah, yeah.
All I could tell you is that I've never felt anything like that. I've never felt voices in my head. I've never, thought I was in that there was some ghost in my presence. I've never felt the Holy Spirit. I've never felt anything like that. It's what I can tell you.
Let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question then. Have you felt like sometimes, look, I'm not gonna lie, I've never met you, but to me, like the way you are, I enjoy your content. Like to me, you get me. When you go live, where's these stars doing? The song about your energy, it's like it's always engaging and you're always informative, and it's like thing because I knew that you do various topics. So when you're talking about religion, I wasn't surprised that all these guys came because you hit various subjects. Now, I remember my channel is mainly boxing or sports, right? So I wasn't surprised that all those guys came over. But in that area of the debate or them things that these guys came over and it was over there, and I was like, right, this is a complete different energy. The guy who came at me, I was watching it again. The reason why he came at me, I think it was because he was protecting his friend. The guy who came over, Will, the guy with the cap. I think he brought his friend over because And I think when I said to you, these are setting them up, I think he got thing. Now the point I'm trying to make is that I could feel his energy was against me. You know what I'm trying to say? It's for what I said. It's like he had something against me. We're from England or whatever. He just looked at me and not really looked at me. I felt my energy with him. It was like, right, it was off. It was off from the jump. You know what I mean?
But there's something there. Like it doesn't have to be. I don't mean to interrupt, but it doesn't have to be some new supernatural. Like
no, I don't know. I'm not trying to say it's supernatural. No. But I'm saying with you and the Duncan, you and the Duncan guy, the Duncan atheist, yeah. Something between the two of you, it was like it was a battle, man. Things shouldn't be so hard, man. It was a battle. He was really trying to make his point across and make you see, but he's
so
long-winded.
Let me explain to you about Duncan. Can I talk about Duncan?
Yeah.
Like I know, you said if he was a debater, he would, like in boxing, he would be like Floyd Mayweather, is what he said.
The reason why I say that he's tricky. I'm trying to say that the guy's tricky.
I hear you, but did Mayweather ever quit in a fight?
Never.
Okay, so but now that's just me throwing a shot at him, right?
But if I may, the reason why obviously I'm an illusion like Mayweather in terms of the way he was wiggling out of the subjects. What I mean is that Mayweather's never quit in the fight, but there was insults throw. And I think that was his breaking point. I think it was his. I think
well, here's the situation, right?
Yeah.
Like right now, not that I haven't interjected or anything, but have I been rude to you when I came on the thread like right now?
Absolutely.
Right. So this dude comes on my feed and he's being rude to me right off the bat.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So like I'm not like like how us boxing fans are. We're an aggressive bunch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like just like you did it with that one guy, okay, yeah. Will, right?
Yeah, you will. Yeah.
Our natural reaction is, dude, if you were talking to me like that in person, I would either slap you or punch you across the face.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like that's just the way I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not being rude to you or anything. I'm going to interject if I have to, but you cannot, tell me what to do. But let me just explain to you what Duncan atheism is, bro. Okay.
All right. Yeah, go on.
This guy, he has a script. I don't know if you noticed, right? That he follows. Right.
Yeah.
And when someone doesn't follow his script, he starts to fall apart. Okay.
Okay.
So every insult he throws is almost identical. What he said to me, that I'm the most arrogant, like he said the same thing to other people, right? And whether they talk to him for an hour or 10 minutes. So this is and you tell me if this follows to you. I want you to tell me what you think.
Mm-hmm.
So in his worldview, God explains everything, right?
Yeah.
God is ultimate. God explains what's possible and impossible. God does that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you can explain something, well, God can provide that explanation. right?
Mhm.
My thought process is, I don't have an ultimate world. I don't know what's ultimate. I don't know everything. Science is discovering things every day. We're learning and more about the universe. And there's a saying in science, and it's very true, that the more we learn, the more we realize, right? Like the more things we know, the more we realize that there's a lot that we don't know, right? Every time we open a new portal of knowledge, we realize like, God damn, there's a lot of shit we don't know. Every time we discover something, right? So it's an ever-growing process. Now, what Duncan wants me to do is to explain what is ultimate, and in my worldview, what explains what guarantees that everything's possible and impossible in my worldview. And that's a trick question, because there's no answer to that question, because I don't know. Nobody does. Now, neither does he, right?
Mhm.
So when I ask him, okay, I don't know, you claim you do know, and you claim your God explains it all. So prove to me that your God is real. Is that not a fair question?
Yeah, I think that's a fair question.
Well, that's when he unravels. That's when he says, I'm switching and baiting. That's when he says, I'm changing the subject. That's when he gets angry. That's when he starts asking me questions. Why is he asking me questions when I say I don't know? He says he does know, so I should be able to ask him questions. So let me give you an example, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you witnessed a crime, right?
Mm.
Let's say you saw, like, who's in the chat right now?
Oh,
Anybody?
SSB 28.
SSB, okay?
Yeah. Oh, these styles dropped out. Oh, see, that was a good conversation for some reason. He dropped out. I think he might have technical problems just there. Oh, there you go. He's back. There you go. Add him back. There you go. You're back.
My bad.
Go ahead.
I X'd out of the whole stream instead of just a chat. My bad.
That's all right.
But if you told me, EJ, if you said SSB murdered somebody last night, right? If you say that, now I wasn't there. I was at home. Okay, I was sleeping, so I don't know anything, right? I admit I don't know anything. I say I don't know if SSB's murdered anybody, right? Now, is it fair, EJ, for me to ask you for proof that SSB murdered? Like, what proof do you have that he murdered somebody last night?
I ain't got none. I ain't got no proof.
No, but if you witnessed it, right?
Yeah. Oh,
if you're saying you knew he did it, is it fair for me to ask you for proof?
Oh, that's fair. Sorry, that's fair. Yeah, you're right. That's fair.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I don't know. I wasn't there. I admit I don't know, but I'm asking you for proof.
Yeah.
Right. Now, what Duncan does, he does this. He says, "You weren't there, so how do you know?" Well, I already admitted I don't know. I'm asking you for proof. I'm asking EJ for proof that this murder happened. Right? He said he saw it. He said he witnessed it.
Yeah.
And then when I ask him, he doesn't have any proof. EJ starts asking me questions. EJ's asking me, "Well, you proved to me that he didn't do it."
Yeah.
Well, I can't do that. I cannot prove to you that he didn't do it. I wasn't there. I was at home asleep. How can I do that? Right? So, and then what he does is the following. Well, I witnessed the murder, therefore I know. You didn't witness the murder. You were asleep at your house, so you don't know. So how can you tell me or have an opinion on whether the murder happened or not? That's in a nutshell what Duncan Atheist is doing. He's just doing it with bigger words. He's just doing it with a broad vocabulary, right? So when I say, and any agnostic or atheist says, prove to me that your God is real, okay? The onus is on the believer. They're the ones making this grand claim that not only does a God exist, but that a specific one exists. You get what I'm saying? So it's interesting that not only is EJ telling me that he witnessed a murder, he's telling me what type of knife was used to commit the murder. He's telling me how it happened. He's telling me every detail of how the murder happened. And not only is he telling me how the murder happened, he's telling me in a way that's impossible to believe, right? He's, you know what I mean? And that's in essence what religion does, you know, and that's the situation, okay? Yeah. So the burden of proof is on the person that, just like it's on the person that witnessed the murder and claims that he saw the murder happen, right? The believer that says that they know for a fact that the God is real, the onus of proof is on them. They have to prove it.
Yeah. So these stars, let me ask you a question. When do you feel like that way, that you know that you don't, you know, like there's no God, like, because obviously, like you said, you was Catholic from young and stuff like that. When was the turning point when you think? What research did you get to make you change your mind?
Well, I mean, it wasn't like I didn't wake up one morning and feel that way. You know what I mean? It just happened over time. I just, you know, over a period of time, I stopped going to church. I just, you know, I just stopped being Catholic. You know what I mean? And then I was just kind of just Christian, and it just me and Jesus, and then it went from that to just, okay, maybe not that, but I'm just a deist. Like I just believe in a God, but I don't know which. Like I don't know, like what particular type it is, and then I kind of just am where I am now, where I just don't know. I just the reason I won't say I'm an atheist, right, is because I don't know. Like I'm not ruling out a God. Like I can't do that because I don't know. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's interesting.
But if you want me to be honest, though, like if you want me to kind of, there is what we want to believe, right? What we believe, what we want to believe, and what we know. Those are three different things. And I think a lot of people confuse those three things. I want to believe that, and I'm going to get a little deep here for you, okay? But try to kind of follow me. It's not going to make all the sense in the world because we're diving into like philosophy and shit like that. You know what I mean? A philosophical kind of world.
Oh, L Dude, 1 minute, D Star. L Dude decided to join us, so L Dude. All right.
But let me finish. Let me finish my thought process.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, we want to believe. I want to believe that when I die, I can meet my grandfather again. I can, you know, meet my father again. I can meet the people that I love, and I want to believe that, right? And then there's what I believe. Right now, I'm leaning towards I just don't believe that's going to happen. I don't. And then there's what I know. I don't know, right? I don't know that's going to happen. You know, I hope it is, but I just don't know that. I don't know there's an afterlife. I don't, like, you know what I mean? I have no proof of that. And I have no proof of any religion. But those are the three things. What we want to believe, what we believe, and what we know. Those are three different things.
Yeah, that's easy enough. But Yeah, that's some stuff, boy. That's some stuff to unload. But you know the thing is, yeah, in a part of you, just part of you want see the thing is a lot of time when you get into the conversation with people not necessarily Christian, there's people who are very religious.
I mean, let me put it this way, Jesus. So when you listen to a lot of gospel music,
yeah,
right, a lot of religious music,
mm-hmm.
not all of it, but a good chunk of it is what people want to believe, right? Like they want to believe that in the end, a God is going to correct everything and bring justice to the world and punish those that are evil, and you know what I mean. And everyone that was good is going to go ahead and live in paradise, heaven, whatever you want to call it. And that's not like a bad thing. Like, you know, it's that's actually a good thought. Like if that was if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people want to believe that. Now, do a lot of people actually believe that? I don't know. Right?
Mm-hmm.
There's people that, you know, they go by what they want to believe. There's people that go by what they believe, and there's people that go by what they know. I just go by what I know.
Mm-hmm. No, that's cool. That's cool. Let me see what LD for. L dude, what's going on, bro? I know you got another name. I think you call yourself Boxing Comment. What's up, L dude?
What's up, brothers? How you doing, bro?
How you doing?
Yeah,
man?
I got that other channel. I'm doing good, brother. Thank you. How about yourself? How you doing, man? It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. We're trying to deal with it. So yeah. What's the other channel you got called?
That's Boxing Comments. And,
yeah.
I might not.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
No. I was gonna say like just for people listening, if they want to sub to you. But I was gonna say, so where do you stand with religion? What's your stance? What do you believe?
I'm on a whole different trip, bro. Like, I respect what D-Style was talking about.
You break up,
or trying to or say something that, you know, contradicting. No, it's just my opinion. You know what I mean? Like, from my personal perspective, I'm beyond religion, bro. I think when I speak to a Muslim, a Catholic, a Christian, a Jewish, an atheist, or a Buddha, you know, you name it. Except whoever I talk to, I'm talking to a brother of mine. I literally see this person as my brother, because my belief is that we're all connected. We're all brothers and sisters under one God. Regardless of what you believe, I believe that. And when I talk to people from different religions, they talk to me, when they're talking to me based on their religion, not because everybody's, you know, we're all human. We all might feel something. But when I ask them, or when they're sharing with me what they believe, when it comes to their religion, they talk to me like I'm their brother, regardless of what I believe. They're talking to me like what they're being taught. You know, that according to their belief, their God, their religion, there's a purpose to why they're doing this, and it's all not for hate. It's for love and for unity. And so for me, whatever I'm learning, whatever I learned, studied, at my end goal result was to be connected to the good people of God, and whether I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I was raised, born a Catholic. But I changed my religion. I converted to Judaism, but I broke off. I'm not an Orthodox Jew. I'm just more like I believe in the Ten Commandments. I'm very loyal to that. You know what I mean? That's my moral religious standards. That's where I hold myself to be together. You know what I mean? If I violate that, I violated my belief in God. And
stop there. You believe in the 10 Commandments? You said
yes, I do. Yes, bro. Yeah, I do. I really do.
Okay. So, you know where the 10 Commandments came from? Do you know I know they say it came from the God and came from the Bible. Do you know where they originally came from? Do you know where they originally came from?
Not the story that you might be coming across now. I believe not.
Yeah. They got the laws of Mayat from Egypt. They said they took the laws. They're exactly the same. They call the 21 confessions of Mayat. So it's like obviously it was before Christianity. They said they derived from there. The laws and the thou shalt not kill. It's just that they have different wording to it. I'm not trying to say that you're wrong. It's that the commandments. But don't you think some of them are outdated now in terms of the 10 Commandments? Do you think they're still relevant in this day and age?
No, bro. I don't think they're outdated. I don't think no religion is outdated. I think every religion is beyond our comprehension of reality, of the afterlife, mathematics, science. I believe religion is just like baby steps for us to understand how the universe actually works, and it's like it's based in our and formatted in a way that that humans in a specific region are gonna understand it depending on how they're being preached to. You know what I mean? Depending on their doctrine, but it's gonna be in their lingo. It's gonna be translated in the way they're gonna, or forcibly, historically speaking, it's gonna be imposed on you. And if it's gonna be imposed on you, then you're gonna be made believe either you're going against God's religion by the oppressor, or you are the enemy, the reason why the oppressors are to kill you or take you out or dominate you or enslave you. I mean,
you don't believe because the title of this is that you don't believe you're your own God. You don't believe that you could. And let's say, obviously, you said that the knowledge is out there. Like, let's say you had the wisdom and the knowledge of the gods. Like, there's like the knowledge of, because obviously it's wisdom, isn't it? Like, if you think of, even if you're gonna go back to the concept of Adam and Eve, right? The serpent said, if you eat this apple, you become like God, right? So that enticed Adam and Eve, especially Eve, to bite the apple, right? So that's what it wasn't as comfortable. Man is not as comfortable. If you look at every stage of man, they're not as comfortable being in surroundings, lighting fire with bloody sticks and stuff. Like, if you look at the technology we have, we're not as comfortable. So what we're saying is that man is always thriving they're always evolving and thriving into something. So the more knowledge you have, don't you think that man is God, or man and woman? I might as well say man and woman. We're our own gods. That's what I'm saying. The concept that we can be, we're basically our own gods.
It's kind of weird, you know what I mean? Because like I said, I'm not an Orthodox Jew, and because I was raised a different way, and because of the experience that I have with different people, I'm able to create my own imagination. And when you create your own imagination, I think that's where you create your own world, universe, and that's what makes you God. Especially when you start not only creating the imagination, but you start producing it in reality by transforming what's around you, either inventing or maybe just displaying something like boxing. You know, like being a boxer, being a champion, influencing people. So we do have the power. We do have I think humanity is striving to be perfect. You can see it in how people, exaggerate their extent to like plastic surgery, maybe, or I don't know if they have some type of handicap, they might want to fix it, medically speaking, or something. There's some type of some sort of false sense of what perfection is, and I think collectively speaking, there is some sort of popularity trend that and the general masses kind of, in a sort of sense, follows. But it has to do also with advertisements and how the corporate media wants us to think of what is, collectively speaking, popular. But back to that main concept. We do in a way, in my belief, we are God. You know what I mean? When we die, that's it. You know what I mean? Our reality, whole universe, we don't know what's up in the afterlife. But in a sense, in my belief, here's my point. I guess it's kind of hard to answer it. You know what I mean? So you start you can't help yourself but ramble a little bit. But
that's all right.
Seriously. But in my point of view, I think we're all God, man, together. Collectively speaking, every human being that has existed before, currently, and will exist is just a version of God. And together,
okay. So everyone collectively together, yeah. But don't you think the nature of man and woman is to worship as well? Because the reason why I say this, yeah, is because in every turn of you, if any turn you see in our society, they're worshiping either a pop celebrity, what do you call it? Them, Kim Kardashian. I mean, I don't, but Kim Kardashian, rappers. In every facet of society, man, woman is looking at someone I want to be them. And when they become them, they always try to surpass them in every facet of life. Like I agree with you. There's two sets of minds. There's people to worship, and there's people who want to ascend, and that's what they want to ascend. They want to be as like God, in it. Like with me, I'm just like I'm not trying to say I want to be that, but I understand that some people have that mindset. They want that knowledge. Now, this is the problem, right? That we have right now with obviously with the virus now, yeah. These someone's made a decision to put this stuff out here, man. You know what I mean? It's not me and you, yeah. There's the it's not me and you, and I don't know if it's God or anything, but one of these guys have made a decision to put it out here for whatever reason they've got or he's got or she's got to populate and obviously I don't know, kill off people in the thing. And what I'm trying to say to you is that if you have the knowledge, you most people think you have the knowledge to better society, but people have the knowledge. If they're twisted, man. There's some real bad people out. There's a real twisted people out. But anyway, I'm rambling a bit. This is what these stars say. These stars, what do you have to say about what we're saying?
On what specifically?
All right, so he mentioned the 10 commandments. He mentioned the 10 commandments of law, but he also El Duda say that we were on gods. Would you agree with that, or I mean that's what we're talking about anyway?
I mean,
just to clarify, sorry, Gisela, just to clarify real quick. I do say we are like God, but and because based on my experiences, my teachings, there is something that I read and believe that we are created in the image of God.
Yeah.
And exactly. But the same thing that EJ, but just to fill in real quick the gap, I do believe that men are to worship God, the God, and my belief what God is. But we are we have that identity of being like God, so we should try to be as clean, as good, as righteous as we could possibly be. And the coronavirus is just a reflection that we're not spiritually, mentally, or physically. You know what I mean? And but I think at the end of the day, we are. It's like this, man. There's angels, there's demons, and there's the devil, and there's people who want to be like the devil. You know, they want to be evil. You know what I mean? But there's some people that want to be good. But no matter how good you are, how perfect you tend to be, I don't think you will ever be God. You can try to be because you have that power that God gave us, but you can never be the God. You know what I mean? That's all I want to say. But go ahead, bro. Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to clarify.
You want me to answer like EJ? Can you ask me the question again? I don't think I understood your question, EJ.
No, I was just saying to say like, yeah, you believe, you know, he was saying we was just talking about the concept that do we believe that? Yeah, I mean, it does. You know what? When I think about it, it does come like from the Bible. It starts like obviously said we're created in the image of God, right? So I was trying to say, he's trying to make a point now. Do you believe to that subscribing that we are our own gods? What do you think about that?
I mean,
like,
well, let me say this: look, if someone believes something and it doesn't hurt anybody for them to believe it, I don't have a problem with it, right? Does someone believing that we're made in the image of God hurt anybody? No. But do I believe it? I don't think there's any evidence of that. I don't think that's true at all. I don't subscribe to that. But it doesn't hurt anybody if somebody believes that. You know what I mean? Do I think we're gods or something like that? I mean, keep in mind. I mean, that God or gods it's a different definition to different people. You know what I mean? Me myself, I don't think any of us are gods or anything like that. We're just flesh and bone and blood, and you know what I mean. And what happens when we die, I have no clue. I don't know. But that's my answer.
Okay, so these stars, what do you think about people worshiping? Because you know, people do worship. Like, give me an example, right? We're on our platforms, me, you, El Dude. We've got our own platforms. To a certain point, people are looking up to us for a thing, and it hasn't got to the point where they worship us. Nah, when 10 million views or whatever, they ain't got to that point yet. But to a certain, go ahead.
There's nothing. Like I said, so if people are doing things that are not harming anybody, I don't have a problem with it. So if people want to worship and that gives them fulfillment in their life, and knock yourself out, I don't have a problem with it whatsoever.
So let's talk about.
Don't impose it on me. That's all I'm asking.
All right, so let's talk about the religion. So do you feel like religion, people believe in creationists, they impose their religion on you? Is that what you're saying? Well, not on you, on other people. Let's not really put it to you. Creationists.
Well, no. Like, if someone's a creationist and that's what they believe, I believe they're wrong. Okay, evidence is not on their side, but that's okay. Like, it's not harming anybody. You know what I mean? Now, if somebody wants to come at me and tell me, no, you're wrong, evolution's incorrect, creationism is correct, we should put creationism in science class, then at that point I have a problem with it. When someone wants to put Moses in history class, I have a problem with it. Okay, like that's whenever religion starts to impose itself on other people. Like, oh, we got to put the Bible in school. Well, not everyone believes in your Bible. You shouldn't force it on every student in the school, right? We don't do that right now, by the way, but we used to, right? Like, those are just some examples I can give you. You know, that they're trying to impose in some states, not all of them. You know, when it comes to Islam, I don't have a problem with a peaceful Muslim practicing their religion. I do have a problem with it when they start blowing people up. Okay. I do have a problem with it when they believe everyone's an infidel and they want to kill everybody. And I honestly believe anyone who's rational will agree with that. You know, just don't impose your belief on me, right? There's a lot of people in this country that believe that our involvement in the Middle East is necessary because of Scripture. And I don't want us to be involved in the Middle East. That's in the other side of the world. We don't have any business over there. We shouldn't be dropping bombs over there. We shouldn't be killing innocent people over there. That's when religion starts to kick in. That's when religion starts to get imposed on people, right? And that's basically my answer.
It's a good answer. No. So let's talk about obviously the let's say, I'm not gonna say it's a religion. Let's say the new religion, the LGBTQ whatever, what do they call it, organization, whatever. They
gays and queers and lesbians.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah. They. You could arguably say that's a religion, right? They have their own flag. They have their own thing.
No.
But in school,
I mean, it's not a religion. It's
not yet.
Life.
Not yet.
Like a cult, more like a cult or something.
Not yet though. Not yet.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, not yet. It's not fully. You see, the thing is about these things, right? It's not fully formed yet, but it's like an egg ready to hatch. Yeah, in schools, it's permeated. Schools, kids, people, the way people think, and first you come out, accepting people, whatever, but it get to the point, yeah, where it's being forced down you in films, adverts, everything you see, right? And if you're not in that way of client, because I understand, see the Bible, yeah. So it's like you said, if you're not imposing now. A lot of time, if you don't read the Bible, it's not imposing. But obviously, when people read the Bible, they call Bible bash. They come around your door, they knock on your door. They say, "You only know about the Bible."
Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah. Joe, you shut the door on them. Most people shut the door on them, right? And they walk away. Now, but with the LGBT thing, yeah, this is imposing on your body, your body spiritually, like, you know what I mean, and making change the way you think. Go ahead, talk on that.
Okay, so look. I kind of have the same explanation that I had for religion. So, it's not a religion, but just to kind of let me say this: if someone wants whatever you want to do in the privacy of your own home, I don't give a shit. I don't care what you do. Okay. Now, when you try to impose your lifestyle on other individuals, like if someone is sending their kid to a school, and you're having them read books that force this lifestyle on them to a certain degree, like, oh, look, this is a book about a gay king or like something like that, right? Once you start, putting gay characters in cartoons and, things like that, okay, once you start telling parents that they cannot correct the behavior of their child. So if the boy picks up a Barbie doll, you can't, take that Barbie doll off their hand because that's for their sister to play with, and you're going to give them the Tonka truck for he could play with, right? Once you start telling people that you can have a boy section and a girl section for toys, We're going to have unisex. Like all the toys are for everybody. Okay. Once you start telling people, if someone feels that they're a woman, right, that that they can go to the women's restroom even though they're a man. Once you start doing those things, you are imposing it on other people, right?
Yes.
That's
yes.
when it's wrong. Whatever you're doing, regardless of how I feel about it, I don't give a shit. Do whatever you want to do in the privacy of your own home, in your own room, in your own bed. I don't care. But don't impose it on other people. I feel that way about religion, and I feel about the group you mentioned, LGBTQ, whatever. I feel the exact same way. That's my answer.
No. I agree. I agree with that. I don't believe in imposing, but you see the imposing, and like you said, back in the days that the Bible used to be in America, was prevalent. I don't. It's probably still prevalent in the South on TV.
And can I say something, EJ?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, I'm not biblical. I'm not a believer. Like I'm not a Christian. Like this is coming from someone who was an agnostic. Okay. So this is not like usually people that say what I just said are labeled like, oh, you're just a religious nut job or something like that. But that's all I wanted to kind of add.
Yeah, no, that's fine. When I was younger, I think someone labeled me as a liberal, but I don't think I'm too liberal no more. You know what I mean? Because I think liberal, they don't really get offended by stuff. But
because, dude, like my cousin she just got pregnant, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I'm going to do a reveal party because of COVID-19. And she doesn't like, they're talking about she's going to do it online or something like that. And I said, well, you don't get to, I said it jokingly, but I said, you don't get to decide. Like, you don't get to reveal what the baby is. You got to wait till the baby tells you if it's a boy or a girl. That's how we live in now. I said that joking to her, but I've talked enough. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's good. All right, L dude, what's your take on it? What's your take on anything, any sort of religion imposing their beliefs on you? What's your take on that then?
Well, in a way, I mean, it's like if you join a religion, you're pretty much giving up your sense of choice, because it's like in other words, make it very simple. It's like a car club. You know what I mean? If you try to join a lowrider car club and you come in, with like a 2020 Volkswagen, pink and looking like a little girlie's car, I mean, you ain't gonna fit in. You're not gonna get accepted. And they're gonna criticize you. They're gonna say you're not doing it right. You need to put different kind of rims. You need to put different kind of system. It's part of the group. You join a religion, but sometimes you have no choice. I mean, you're born into it. They teach you this. It's whether your parents, your guardians, or you learn it from someone else. You're pretty much believing this is reality until you either read something else, you believe something different, or you stick to your basic fundamentals of religion. So, but when it comes to like LGBT and all them dudes and stuff like that, man, I have a lot of disagreement. You know what I mean? Like this whole what do they call it? Uni bathroom things, whatever. I mean, like, fuck that shit, man. You know what I mean? What the fuck? What kind of shit is that? To tell society we need some gay bathrooms.
One minute. We have to do this disclaimer here. Like, if you're swearing a lot on YouTube, they have this algorithms. It'll get.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Yeah. So let's try and keep the language clean. But I understand.
I was saying fudge.
Yeah, that's cool. Go ahead.
I was saying fudge, like the chocolate fudge.
Yeah, that's cool.
Chocolate fudge, man. Chocolate.
Nah, you can describe it. You can describe it, but what I'm trying to say, all I was trying to say is like, see, I got the energy. I got it without like swearing. Just continue, but you don't have to say chocolate fudge. We got what you're talking about. Let's carry on. But
no, I was saying chocolate fudge. Just yeah, but no, but I'm just saying, man. I think the elderly and toddlers, they need their own bathroom, man. We should have a separate bathroom for like toddlers, where no grown-ups can go and piss on the toilet, leave a big old dump on right there. Drunks, weirdos, the toddlers and little kids need they need their own little bathroom, man. Where grown-ups ain't gonna come in. I think the elderly need it as well. I think they should have priority. And then it's everybody else. And if there's any room, there should be a unisex bathroom in my belief. But
Yeah,
I think society's all fucked up, man. I think society. I'm
But
sorry,
you know,
all fudged up.
the thing is, yeah, they have. You're right. They have you have a male, female, disability. So you're trying to say that the transvestite, the LGBTQ community, they should have their own toilet.
They should wait. They should wait, dude. They should wait. I mean, we should have toilets for the elderly. We should have toilets for little kids and stuff, where no grown-ups are gonna come in there and harass them and try to pull some nasty shit on them. You know what I mean? I think that's a lot of weirdos going in there trying to rape little kids and stuff. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, man. We should forget about people's sexual preferences, and we should start looking at as society should start looking at logical priorities, like the elderly, like the handicap, and handicaps are taken care of, but in a way, you know what I mean. But we should be looking at now just specifically for the elderly, for senior citizens, because they're slower. You know what I mean? They have different type of capacities. They need different type of stoves. And then why should some punk youngster come in there and piss all over the floor, and then here comes an elderly person slipping on the goddamn urine? You know what I mean? It makes no sense. You know what I mean? It pisses me off when I see that. You know what I mean?
All right, let's talk about control, right? So with all the religions or whatever people believe in, would you and I go to these stars? Would you say it's a form of control? These stars?
Well, look, I know the popular thing to say is that religion was created to control people, right? I honestly don't think it's that deep. Like, I don't think it's this big conspiracy theory. It's pretty straightforward. Religions were just our very first attempt to try to explain the world around us, right? Now, once it started, and you know what I mean? Of course, kings would say that they were chosen by God, and things of that nature. So of course, it was used to control people, but that's not. I don't think that's how it started. You know what I mean? But it definitely has been used to control people without a shadow of a doubt. If you can get a mass of people, right, to believe that there's a God in the sky or wherever it is, right, that's going to read your mind and judge you by every wrong thing you do according to that religion. Of course, a large segment of that population, if they believe it, are going to be, better citizens per se. You know what I mean? However, as an unintended consequence, I think religion brought a lot of, terrible things to us.
Would you say that not the religion, the people interpret it in the way they wanted it to bend the way they wanted, and it was the people who put bad consequences, not really the religion, the people? Would you say it was that?
I got you. So the problem is that religion was invented by people.
Oh yeah.
So of course, like religion is man-made. So the people just there's no other way to put it, and I'm not in any way, shape, or form trying to bash anybody's religion by saying this, but people just flat out made it all up. Okay, all of it, they made it all up, right? Like Adam taking the rib from Eve, and a talking snake, and a talking bush, and Moses parting the Red Sea. And I obviously know more about that than Islam, okay, but I'm sure Islam has some things that they claim, right? I just think it was all made up. So man-made religion, right? I think religion was the first attempt for man to try and explain things. Before we got to the Abrahamic religions, we had other religions, right? So you had, like the Greeks, they believed in Zeus, and they had temples, and all the other Greek gods. The Romans had their gods.
Aztecs, Native Americans.
Yeah.
The Aztecs had their god. I think the Aztecs had a superior concept. Okay, Aztecs worship things like the sun, for example. Okay, so and to me, like someone who worships the sun, even I'm not gonna get on my knees for the sun. I appreciate the sun, but but someone who appreciates something that you can actually look at and it gives you life and and you know, and all that, I can appreciate a little more. But all that aside, it's man-made, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's all man-made.
Okay. El Dude, what do you think about control?
It's been used to manipulate the masses. It's taken over. Religion has been taken over by the elites. The elites have their own agendas to stay in power, keep the majority of the wealth. I mean, these are proven facts. There's an unfair distribution of wealth that has existed since economies became internet, or even domestically known. I mean, there's people who just want to be greedier and devilish, and go against their own religion. Because there has not been one religion that I've come across that preaches to be greedy, to be to enslave people in the way that it's gonna break civil rights and dignity and humiliate people, and that's all devilish. I mean, that's temptation, in my belief. Because there is that factor, there has to be that a type of control to prevent these demonic, evilish, or just plain greedy people from losing their power. So they're gonna do whatever it takes, and they have been doing whatever it takes. But now the way society is being run, when we look at, like, for example, homeland security, international threat, not just when it comes to coronavirus, but I'm talking about the war on drugs, the war on terror. In I don't believe it. I have my own. I think it's more political. There's an industrial complex that's profiting from it. The poor general masses of the United States, for example, we pay so much taxes for supposedly to keep the country safe, but we're out there, our country, not us, but the country politics, creating war worldwide. I mean, it's like, it's almost, I don't know, man. It doesn't make sense, man. It doesn't when you look at it. There's people. If you know, there's the art of war. There's a phrase in the art of war that prolonged war has never benefited any nation. I'm paraphrasing here, but prolonged war has never benefited any nation unless you know how to profit from it. You know what I mean? So if you know how to profit from war, then you're going to prolong it for a specific reason, to be rich. And the weapons get old; they have to be replaced, maintained. It's an economy-based industry that it's pretty much the end result is war. So to keep this going, there has to be social control. There has to be some type of social control that is going to prevent the masses from uprising and taking charge of. Not just like, for example, I mean, look at the United Kingdom or other countries. They have the queens, for example. I mean, we don't have queens or kings here in the United States, so it doesn't really make sense for us. You know what I mean? So there is religion has been used by the elites in order to, I mean, it has been taken over. The elites have taken over religion to manipulate the masses and to believe that their control is righteous. They have been put in place, and this has been going on since, historically speaking, on record since the 13th century, the 14th century. We've been seeing how in Europe, the kings, for example, the lords would say that it was their divine right. They were born righteous, to rule, and then they had the clergy, and then they had the peasants. You know what I mean? So this is just the way society was. So that's the form of control that happened in Europe. Here in the United States, because we don't have that, we do see religion being used as a way to either continue like D-Style was saying, to fuel certain wars. Religion, there's a reason why we have out there. We're trying to save people from a certain enemy, but that enemy is a fallacious enemy, and it's based on religion, but it's also based on a fallacious agenda. And when you study that religion in itself, it doesn't preach that. So it's a false narrative. It's a false, not a false religion, but it's just a false way of preaching it. You know what I mean? It's just you're using the tools of religion incorrectly, but to profit from it, you know, and that in itself is demonic. It's devilish. It's greedy, and it's what so that goes back to my main point. It's not outdated. Our religion is just an example of how society is and always will be. No matter what tools we have, whether it's technology, advancing to whatever it is, there's always going to be that human need for wanting something. You know what I mean? And some people are going to feel it more than others. Some people are just going to be more greedy, and some people are going to want to share more than others. And there's always going to be that difference. And whoever has that power at that particular point in time, whether it's in the past, present, or future, there's going to be some type of social control, in my belief, to prevent them from losing that power. You know what I mean? So, but it's right now the power, religion is powerful. It's a powerful tool, but it's being controlled and used by the elites, and the masses just following along. You know what I mean? And believing whatever is being taught to us. Yes, brother.
Let me ask this question. Yeah, let's go to D-Star, and I'll do as well in a minute. Like, what I know D-Star doesn't believe anything in the Bible. I don't know if you remember D-Star's the story of Babylon. Is it Babylon? Where I think they were building what's his name again? Nimrod. I think they were building. I think Nimrod believed that he was a god, right? And this is going to the whole thing. Obviously, we believe our gods. He believed that he was bigger than God, and I think they must have built towers and towers up, yeah, to the heavens and stuff.
The Tower of Babel, yeah.
Yeah, the Tower of Babylon, yeah. And what he did, yeah, God did. He obviously made all the people have different languages, so they couldn't work together, and so they couldn't cohesively work together. And then obviously they all flooded out. Now, if you look at this whole thing in social media, right? I'm not trying to say that this is the thing, but if you look at social media and people on media, they become very powerful. A lot of people became very powerful, this, that, the other. But when this COVID thing hits in, right? Everyone, yeah, whatever they felt, how powerful they felt, whatever, if everyone just became the same thing. But there's a certain elite or still on top, they're still looked after, or maybe the people like Boris has got, he's got ill from corona or whatever. But the whole society is being crumbled down now. And whatever they thought they were, because people thought they were giants, like all these big mobiles, like what's that guy, Weinstein, Bill Cosby, R. Kelly. It's like we build people up, yeah, this is in the world to take people down. Jesus himself, yeah, they builded him up to take him down, innit? If Jesus was here now, they'd probably, after a while, even though he'd done so much good, they'd take it out. So the question is, in man, yeah, isn't it our nature, even though we know something's good for us, to destroy them? D-Stars, what do you have to say about that?
Well, the problem with it is like when you say, when man knows something's good for them, it's in them to destroy it.
Yes.
I think I'm not religious at all, right? However, I'll just point to something that Jesus said: "Forgive them, for they not know what they do." Right. Yeah. So, my point is, if people know something's good for them, they're not going to destroy it. They could be mistaken and believe otherwise. They could believe that
that's good.
That person's not good for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's my answer.
No, that's a good answer, because I was thinking about, and I'll get to you as well. I was thinking about how Howard Weinstein or whatever his name is, right? So they said he done all these things to the woman, but you know,
I mean that like even though I don't believe in the story of Jesus, though, I mean Weinstein was like a sexual predator, bro.
Yeah. I'm trying to get. Yeah, no. I'm trying to make her thing, but even that's what put out. But before he was named that. This guy's Academy Award winner. He's done multiple films in the industry, gave multiple people jobs, like beautiful enough things in the industry. But what I'm trying to say to you is that, but on the other side of that, then the people obviously tear them down. That's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't matter how big someone comes in our society, whatever. Like you said, but someone puts information in there, making him seem like he's bad for us. Now we're going to tear them down. So even though, let's say, he was good for us one time, someone's put information out about him, now he's bad for us. We need to tear him down. That's tear down people's legacy.
Here's what I'll say. So the examples you gave me, like R. Kelly and Weinstein in specific,
Bill Cosby,
brought it upon themselves. The Bill Cosby thing, there's more nuance to that, and it is a he said, she said situation. But the Harvey Weinstein, especially with a tape that came out, and R. Kelly being with underage girls, they brought it up. They caused it themselves. If anything, EJ, they were given passes that we don't get. So if you were caught with underage girls, it would have taken this long to finally prosecute you and lock you up. Like it would happen immediately. Right? So they benefited from that. For those particular answers, but I still default to my first, just in general, like if someone's good for us and our society, why do people tear them down outside of somebody like R. Kelly or something like that? Okay.
We could talk about boxer.
They don't realize that. They don't realize they're doing it to themselves.
Yeah. Like Michael Jackson, he's another one. But like you said, there's always a dual thing. All right, dude, what you saying about people build people up to take them down? Go ahead.
I don't think people necessarily build people up, and in a general sense, I don't think people are trying to build people up to turn them down. I think when you build someone up cohesively, when you build someone up, and you see that there's a reason why you're doing that, like boxing, for example, and it fits perfect with boxing. To me, boxing is a reflection of life, right? To me, when I see, and my people around me trip out because when I'm watching a fight, I'm cheering for both guys. I'm not bullshit. It could be Andy Ruiz versus Anthony Joshua, and I'm cheering for both guys. Go Andy, you got it, you first guy in the history. Boom, he goes down and shit. I'm I'm cheering for AJ. Damn, AJ fucking dropped his ass. Like, damn, it's crazy. That's why he's AJ. That's why he's fucking AJ. That's why he's AJ. Because he's a fucking badass. He comes in, but you got it, Andy. But you got it. I'm cheering for both of them, right? Because I'm not. It's kind of weird, bro. It's just the reason I'm doing this. My point, because when I build these boxers up in my own world, there's something that I see in them that's reflecting in me. It's only one person against the whole world. There's a challenge in front of them. When I'm still I'm getting my education, I'm working on my PhD and stuff. So when I see a professor, he's my rival. He's not my professor. He's not my trainer. He's my rival. I'm going to war with that professor, right? And I'm gonna try to take his title, and his title is in his brain. Whatever he knows, I'm trying to take it, and I'm gonna work out. It's not necessarily a push-up, but it's hitting the books. It ain't hitting the bag, but it's hitting the books. You know what I mean? It's a reflection because I'm trying to build it. And so when I see these professors, to me, they're like champions too in my own world. They know something. They're great. And if there's a tarnish in them, then I don't want to. If I see something like a racist, and then I don't want them. I'll be quick to turn them down. Like, that mofo is a racist, or he's this and that, and I'm not going to his class. Or I went to his class, and for some reason I will not recommend it. I'll turn down quick in my own world. Not necessarily out loud, but in my own mind, this is what it's just because there's a reason why you believe in these people, why you're building them up is because, in my opinion, in the boxing, it reflects me. When I see a champion triumph, when they come from nothing, or they're a minority triumphing in a world that historically speaking been putting that particular race or religion or ethnicity or complexion down, historically speaking, forever and ever, man, it's beautiful to me because that's where I'm coming from. I'm coming from nothing, right? And I'm going for everything. And I love to see the champions. And dude, man, I got hats from. I'm trying to make a collection, not of every single boxer, but the boxers that inspired me. You see what I mean? So when I'm saying I'm building them up, but if I were to hear some bullshit, Andy Ruiz was raping some kids, I'd be the first one if I see him person to knock him out if I could. I'll run it because as a Mexican where I come from, you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to rush up on them. You're supposed to do that. It's just street code where I come from. I'm from East Side, Salinas, California. It's just the ghetto of ghettos, you know what I mean? And ghetto style out here. And I've been criticized for this because it's just California. We don't live in Florida. We don't live in Texas. It's California. You know what I mean? If you live in the hood and you see that, you got to do something about it.
Well, let me move on from boxing, right? So let's talk politicians, right? And I'll give you another one, right? So in the black community, Obama could do no wrong, yeah? Could do no wrong, became the first black president, right? Could do no wrong. But if you ask some people now, they're like, yo, he didn't do nothing for us. I don't think he was no good anyway, right? Donald Trump. People used to like Donald Trump. He got the Apprentice, he got the show, Yeah, I mean, he was all right. The first time when he started criticizing Obama, people were like, he's a bit of an idiot. And now he's the president. Bruh, it's just ongoing. Like, that's what I mean in that kind of scenario. It's like he's okay in this level, but when he goes up there, now we're gonna bomb on him, we're gonna hear him, we're gonna try to tear his stuff down. That's more or less where I'm at, where it's like they're there, but other people have other agendas. Like these stuff said, people put other stuff out about them, and now we want to tear them down. Answer on that, L dude.
Well, when it comes to, like, for example, the Democrats and the Republicans here in the United States. Well, in other words, when it comes to the parties, the parties that you could participate in to cast your vote and have a representative, hopefully, win the ballot to become, say, president of the United States. It has become, even though there's different parties, it's become a two-sided coin. There's more than two parties, but nowadays you only see the Republicans or the Democrats. And in my opinion, the Democrats right now, they have changed. What the Democrats and Republicans are right now, that they pretty much flip-flop from coming from just a few years back, and their stands. I mean, but what they are right now, not historically, but what they are right now, the Democrats have not done shit for Mexican Americans, for them, or Latinos, Hispanics, or the African community, or the Asian community. They have not done shit. Obama's a perfect example. He became the president who deported most immigrants in the history of the United States of America. The first African American president deported more Mexicans in the history of the U.S. I mean, that's just ironically kind of like weird when he asked for the Latino vote to put him in power in the first place. So, did he backstab the Latino vote, or has he done what the Democratic Party has always been doing? You know what I mean? And that's just, keeping that white privilege in power. And it's pretty much, that's what it is, because when you see it's only one African American president compared to how many other presidents there's been, there all have been white. There hasn't been an Asian, a Mexican, or nothing. So and when we look at Bill Clinton, it's the media that tricks the ignorant voters. For example, a lot of people love Bill Clinton. A lot of people from the hood, a lot of people from the ghettos, a lot of people, they just love Bill Clinton. You hear a lot of comedians, a lot of celebrities from African Americans. They praise, they want this guy to have another term. They want him to come back. But Bill Clinton incarcerated the nation. He was one of the main reasons. He was like the new version of Jim Crow laws. You know what I mean? To incarcerate, and then just recently, in California, for example, the Eighth Amendment was voted against California, saying they've been violating the Eighth Amendment. It's the cruel and unusual punishment. They were incarcerating not just adults, but children, youth, incarcerating these particular subjects, right, for a crime, and giving them like 3-4 times more incarceration time than what it should have been. Why? Because the prisons became privately owned, meaning you, EJ, you, D-Style Boxing, me, and dude, we could go and have our own prison. Hey, let's just make our own prison, and we're going to charge the state around $90,000 per inmate to rehabilitate these inmates. We'll feed them, we'll clothe them, we'll teach them, and we'll put them in groups, and we'll release them to society 4 or 5 years later, when all they did was walk around with like a handful of weed in their hand. I mean, for crying out loud. I mean, stuff like this has happened. So just recently, California voted against the state. Was and at fault for not rehabilitating, for just pretty much using the communities, the poor communities, as product to fuel these private prisons just to make money off them, bro. And they were making it worse because it was like a 70% return rate. So it was like it was a system. It was a system that just kept working to benefit these privately owned companies, these privately owned prison companies that were supposedly rehabilitating prisoners, but it was all falsely done. They were intentionally picking up. Well, this is what I'm talking about. I don't think I'm rambling, going off on a tangent here.
Yeah, a bit.
Yeah, but that's pretty much my stance. My stance on it.
All right. So that was a good shit. No, look, but no, but the main thing is this, yeah. All right, let me ask these styles. Do you believe in demons?
Oh, do you want my thoughts on the political realm thing?
Oh yeah, you go ahead. Go jump in. I'll do the after. Go ahead.
All right. So one, I don't subscribe to Democrat, Republican. Anyone who does, I think, is a fool. This is not like a sport, and unfortunately, we live in a country that treat this like a sport, right? Like, my side's gonna win, and then when their side wins, they cheer and make fun of the other side because they won. Like, and that's what we do in sports. You know what I mean? That's what you do when your team wins or whatnot, and just in general, right? Um, and we do have people that are brainwashed on both sides. Okay, a lot of what El Dude said is correct. The Obama, it was definitely the deporter in chief, and and ironically, he's just not seen that way. If George Bush, if we just keep it real, if George Bush or any Republican president deported as many people as Obama did, believe me, the Latino community would have known about it, right? I mean, that's just point blank, period. Now, it doesn't make the Republicans any better. I think the Republican Party is just as, if not more, horrible than the Democrats. And this is and this current president right now, everything I've criticized Obama for, this guy is doing tenfold, right? He's deporting, just as many, if not more, people than Obama did. He is building a wall as a symbol, which I believe is a symbol of racism, right? Everyone knows the wall is not effective. It's not going to stop illegal immigration. Okay, that's what he says. That's not what it's going to do. He also lied about it. He said Mexico would pay for it. Everybody with a brain knew that was not going to happen. We're going to pay for it. You know what I mean? This is a president that has stocks, and if you follow the money, right? With a lot of these companies building oil pipelines on public land, which is our land, taxpayer money. This is a president who he himself has employed, illegal immigrants. As much as he bashes them, they just recently caught, illegal immigrants working at Mar-a-Lago. You know what I mean? Like, this is an individual, EJ, who I just want to make sure you understand. He didn't just criticize Obama. That's not what he did. Okay, he questioned the fact that he's American. Okay, that's what he did. Okay, he was asking for a proof of his birth certificate, and everybody knew why he was doing that. Right now, it doesn't excuse Obama for anything. I criticized Obama for continuing the Bush tax cuts. I criticized him for basically passing what really, in essence, was a right-wing healthcare plan, which was the healthcare affordable Care Act that he ended up passing. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things I have him to criticize for. As to, you would have to ask someone in the African American community how they specifically feel. But a lot of African Americans I've spoken with have criticized Obama and have very valid criticisms of him. But that aside, what were you going to ask me about demons?
Yeah, I was going to say, do you believe in demons? Possessions and stuff like that.
I do not believe in demons. I have not seen any evidence of demons. It does not mean I don't think humans can do very terrible things. I do wonder. I mean, I'll be honest, right? So if you remember that guy that got a AK-47 and went to a elementary school and shot up all those third graders. Mm-hmm. And do I ask myself, how can someone bring themselves to do that? Yes, I do. Right? You know what I mean? I definitely ask myself that. However, what you're asking, like, is there demons that can possess us and and stuff like that? No, I do not believe in that.
Okay. El Dude, you believe in demons?
I believe in demonic people, and I believe people.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, brother. Finish it.
Now, what do you mean demonic people? Go on, expand on that.
Well, I believe there's certain people who worship Satan, who worship the devil, who worship. No, like even I'm not sure if you've heard of the cartels in Mexico. They worship the death, the Santa Muerte. It's like the Grim Reaper type version of a god. So there's people who revere this thought of devilish, demonic thinking, and now what D-Style was talking about, for example, just to pull an example of that person with that weapon, the AK-47, went into that school. Now the face, the expression of that person to the children might have seemed like a demon, like something out of a horror movie. Scenes I could only imagine, how horrific that person must have seemed to the staff, to the children, the teachers, to the community. But when you look at, like, for example, the Salem witch trials, there was at one point, for example, in Europe where they were saying, "Oh, this person is possessed. This person needs to be condemned or executed for whatever reason." But after a while, it turned into a psychological thinking. Is this person and mentally stable? Is the person really possessed, or is this person having some type of psychological imbalance in their mind that is causing them to think either schizophrenically or whatever way that it might sound crazy or psycho to the public? So there's a difference. See, that's back to my point. When people want to act demonic, when they pursue this evil thinking, and they will go to whatever extent they're willing to do to gain. Let's really be honest. Usually for money, to riches and fame or glory, whatever they want to do, whatever they want to. Some people want to sell their soul. If they believe, I don't believe that's possible. But if they think this, if they're attempting to do this in their thought and their religion and their purpose, and to act this way, and they have no medical excuse whatsoever that we could say, we've got to forgive this person. They don't belong in prison. They belong in a medical institution. There's a difference. Because when we see someone who's medically unfit, then we can't really say this person is demonic. We could just say this person is just needs psychological help and keep them away from society. Never let this person out unless we could show with this. You see where I'm going with this. But if you intend to do demonic crime and intentionally things that are going even against your own belief of what religion is, you are a demon.
Don't you think they're mental health? Like they had mental health problems. That's what people say now. See, back in the days, they say that they had mental health, but these days that they diagnose them having a mental disorder. You see what I'm saying? Is having a mental? What's the difference between a mental disorder and thing? What's the difference? Demons.
I believe that if you have a mental disorder, you're not possessed. But if you are mentally fit and you're creating these crimes to society, then you are possessed in your own thoughts. You are possessed in your own will. It's like your alter ego has taken over, and this alter ego and their own perception is the devil, is a demon, is whatever it could be, right? But at the end of the day, it's their own choice, right? But their own choice, their own alter ego, their own exceptions of reality, whatever it was, whatever it is, at the end of the day, they're mentally fit.
But let's talk about the demons, yeah. So see with the demons, yeah. Do you know that God created the devil, yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So the devil was an angel.
Yeah.
Yeah, of music and stuff like that, right? So
yes.
What I'm saying is that, like, I know that, I mean, that's easy, the demon, but what I'm saying is that, like, for them to be possessed of something, yeah, that's what most people say. In this day and age, they say that obviously they have a mental disorder. Something in their brain is not making them. Okay, you know, we're talking coherently, we're getting along with each other, but there's some guy who come online now, and for whatever reason, he's just acting. He's acting out of character compared to us. He's not on the same wavelength, right? His wavelengths out there, right? And
Like
then
Duncan.
yeah. Like Duncan Athens. Yeah, he's just on a different wavelength, man. It's like so I'm trying to see when it comes to possession, yeah, it's like people. I mean, humans. You see, our human society. We're very picky on how we let people excel in life and whatever. The way people look, their color, their height, you know, their eye color, hair color, all that bullshit. Yeah, they have that. They have all that. Yeah. Now, the guy who went into the school and did that. Yeah, I don't know that. I don't know what would make someone go and do that. Possess someone do that. You arguably say that this guy had a demon in him, but when you, I'm just being devil advocate. Don't you think he might have mental health problems though? You know what I mean? Oh, dude.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, D-Star. Take this one, bro.
D-Star doesn't believe in it. D-Star doesn't believe in demons, so that.
I just don't.
Yeah, he doesn't believe it.
I don't think we get possessed. Like you know what I mean. Let me ask you this, EJ. Okay.
Yeah.
If I got in a relationship with a woman, right?
Yeah.
And I entered the household, right? I take over the household as a man, right? And then I murder her children.
Oh, Chris Benoit.
Because I want her to get. I want to impregnate her so she could give me my children. Is that a pretty evil thing?
So you come into the house and you murder her because you want her to give you kids? Why would you murder? You murder her to give you kids?
It's a very good question, but what I'm asking you, regardless of why I did it, right? Obviously, only a maniac would do that, right? I mean, I would have to be a pretty evil person, right? Okay.
Yeah, fucking man. Yeah.
What do lions do when they take over a prey?
Oh, they always kill the cubs, man.
Right. So this is stuff that happens in the animal kingdom, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like I get what you're saying, right? But we have animal instincts as well. Like, you know what I mean? It may be more complex with us. We're far more intelligent beings than, you know, just a regular, you know, fucking lion or any animal on this planet. Okay. But what I'm saying is just because we do things that we call it evil from our comprehension, right? It doesn't mean that a demon possessed me to do it. Okay. There could be something wrong with me psychologically, right? I can be a complete narcissist and not have any idea of morals that society has created. Like, I don't abide by them because I don't feel any empathy. Like, it could be a lot of things. It could just be that there's just something completely just wrong with me.
All right,
but it doesn't mean that a demon possessed me to do something like that.
All right. Let's talk about. So staying on that. What about cannibals? Men or women who eat other human flesh? What would you say that was? You say they have a demon inside them.
Would I say there's something wrong with them? Yes. Because animals, including us, we don't just eat ourselves. Okay. There's something wrong with them. Do I think they're possessed or have a demon in them? No.
What you say? They have mental health. Then they allude to eat flesh. They you know.
I would have to know their personal story.
Well, Hannibal Lecter. Well, you can go with Hannibal Lecter. You might as well start there. That's a true person, isn't it? You might stay there.
Well, let's say Hannibal Lecter was real. I don't know if that's based on a true story or not. Forgive me if I don't know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's a true.
I don't know.
Oh shit! Shoot.
It's based on the true person. Yeah.
I don't know if it was or it wasn't, but let's say it was, right? I mean, there's definitely something psychologically wrong with him. Like, it, at least from our understanding, right? It doesn't. What I'm saying is, I don't think there's a demon inside him.
All right, serial killers, Jack the Ripper.
Real quick, D-Style.
Go on, now, dude.
What about on that same thought? What would you call, like, say, indigenous people who resort to cannibalistic measures? Was there something psychologically wrong with them, or?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question. Yeah.
Are you talking about like when they would rip the heart out and eat the heart or something like that?
Yeah, I'm thinking in general. Just to keep up with the talk, man. Just like a ranting comment.
No, the Aztecs and stuff like that.
Yeah, like the Aztecs in general. Yeah, like say with the Aztecs, there's something wrong with them.
Can you, just for the sake of argument, can you elaborate for me, like which Native Americans, what did they do? What was their culture? Why did they do that?
No, because you were saying that how they were like medically unfit, psychologically wrong with them, their thinking. If people like Hannibal Lecter, because of our moral standards, I see where you're coming from. He grew up in our society. Hannibal Lecter doing something like that is considered psychologically wrong with him. But in a society where children may be taught that this is okay, you know, like in Native.
Yeah, but which Native American tribe did that? Is what I'm trying to understand.
No, like you know, like in the Amazon, in the Amazon, people go in there, and then the Aztecs have done this too. They ate the Spanish conquistadors in history. And there's African tribes out there that resorted to cannibalistic. I'm just talking.
Are you saying that there's
a society?
No, I'm just trying to understand. I'm just trying to understand. Are you saying that the Aztecs ate conquistadors? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, there's proof that there's bones with teeth mark, and they were from, because the conquistadors didn't just go in there and invade. It was like in waves. You know what I mean? Some got captured, and they
would
fled,
capture them and sacrifice them to their gods, right? And
they would eat their flesh.
I don't think they had them for dinner. That's what you're asserting. But whether they bit a part of their flesh, or whether they bit, they tore the heart out and bit it and stuff like that. That's another discussion.
Something. But that's cannibalistic. I mean, you're not gonna barbecue the motherfucker and make tacos out of it. I'm just talking about taking a bite out of someone's flesh. It's cannibalistic. You know what I mean?
Maybe
in general,
I don't know. But what I'm saying is this, right? If you kind of look at their mindset, so the Aztecs they didn't just do it randomly.
No, of course not.
Right. They sacrificed these bodies to their gods, right? So one of the reasons the Aztecs were defeated by the Spaniards, as I think is we're told that the Spaniards had superior weapons and steel and all that, but it's not like they brought a whole large armada. It's that the Aztecs were capturing them and sacrificing them to their gods, and then before they knew it, they caught the disease of smallpox, and it went, and it started to spread in the Aztec Empire, and that's what brought them down, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not ruling out that they were munching out. I have no clue, right? But I think there is evidence that they would pull out the heart, maybe even bite the heart, and kind of like Catholics do when they say they're eating the body of Christ. Maybe they did it in a very literal sense, not to Christ, but for their gods, right? Mm-hmm. But they were doing, like, think about it, they were in this like religious kind of state of mind where they believe they were doing this for the gods. If that's the case, then they definitely, just like I feel about religion in general, then there was definitely something wrong with that. Yes.
From our perspective, of course, it would seem wrong, but for them, it was totally perfect because they're not acting out of context. I'm saying as we see, you're judging. You're judging from the outside, from your own morals, your own beliefs. But if you were born into this culture, if you were being brought up in this culture,
that's fair.
I'm sorry.
I'm saying that's fair. Like, grew up in that culture, and I could probably believe that's true. But I did say that from our understanding, not from our.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. Yeah. No, definitely, of course.
I just don't.
But Hannibal Lecter, of course, dude.
I don't think they're going Hannibal Lecter style on the Spaniards, though.
There's a difference. Yeah, there's a difference. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But just to touch up on that, for someone within our society, within our own moral standards, taking up cannibalistic measures is some sort of I don't know, I would say rush, some type of drug for them.
Bro,
just as much as
because look, the eating of human flesh, when people, this is what I've heard, innit? The people eat human flesh. From the time they have human flesh, then they can't turn back, bro. That's it. That's it for them. That's it. They turn cannibal, bro. They need to be locked away, bro. Like now,
hey, have you guys seen the Twilight Zone?
Have I seen what? The Twilight Zone?
I think there was an episode of the Twilight Zone that I saw, a rerun, of course, of a hamburger shop that was resorting to cannibalistic. They killed somebody, they fed it to the town, and the town just kept getting more, and then they wanted that type of meat, and the whole town just became.
What happens in any society who is desperate, like these stuff says, when people are desperate and there's no food, the people result and do this stuff that is, is crazy. But even in Jamaican society, they have what's it called again? We have voodoo and stuff like that, right? And voodoo, and obviously in Africa they say they cook people in pots or whatever, and they stew them up and stuff like that. Witches or whatever, they have human flesh. In the witches, the Salem witches, or there was witches, they cook flesh of young kids, and they can help them fly. The male witches, the warlocks, right? So in society, there's this fascination of cooking flesh. Like to me, like the demonic, demon energy, is there, is prevalent. You know what I'm trying to say to you? Like I honestly, sometimes I feel, right, this is just me feel, that there's some people who have demon energy. There's energy just throwing off them demonic. Now these guys disagree, but to me, I feel like some people have demon or devilish energy where their whole mindset is just to cause disruption, mayhem, and chaos. If you look on the news, right, 24/7 on the news, right, about this corona thing, ain't got nothing good. There's constant negativity just around the airways. If you're constantly focused on that, I'm not gonna lie to you, within a year or month, you'll probably die just through the negativity. The energy was being put off. So I believe that the energy that people put out, it could be classed as demonic or devilish, or whatever.
I mean, can I say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to ask you a question first, just to get clarification, and then I want to say something. But when you say, if you watch the news and all that negative energy, are you saying that's what gives people corona? Like, what do you mean?
Nah. I'm saying the negative, and I'll give you an example. So you're watching the news, right? And all they're talking about is this person died, that person died, this person died. And, if you don't wash your hands every day, if you don't do this every day, you're probably going to get corona. And, you're probably going to be infected. You know what I mean? Then your family, then you start thinking about your family, I'm basically talking about depression. But because of the stuff they're putting out there, at no point they're saying how many people have survived. These people are doing well. They've got a cure. There's nothing good coming through. It's just negative, pure negative. Eventually affects you.
I hear you.
Yeah.
But you did say, like, you're gonna die. Like, was that just like a figure of speech?
No, literally. This, I'll give you an example. These stars, right? I can put this. Babies, when they're born, if they don't have a certain amount of attention and affection, after a while, they said babies die. This is not me. This is the people in the hospital. So the babies will die if it doesn't get a certain amount of affection when it's born. As soon as it's born, within an hour of it's born, it said the baby will probably curl up and die within 2 hours of birth. Humans, in watching that sound, remember again, humans react on energy. So if the energy you're watching is completely negative, and you're constantly consuming it, eventually it will affect your health. And eventually, not obviously, when I mean die, it's slow. It's a slow process. If you don't turn it off, it will affect your health, affect your mind, affect your sleep, and then eventually, you know what I mean. It will kill you. It will kill negative. It will kill you. Go ahead.
No, I agree with that, man. Like for example, like while you were saying that, EJ, like this thought came to my mind. Mm-hmm. It's like falling in love. It's like you can't help falling in love. There's a feeling that comes, there's a sense of feeling of emotion, some type of chemical things are going in your mind that just there's an attraction to a certain person, thing, or whatever. Right? You're in love. Mm-hmm. But so in that sense, it could flip it the other way around. Hate. Or evil thought, whatever it is. So there is I think just your that thought in itself does possess you. You know what I mean? You could be possessively in love with somebody.
Well, it's energy. Well, it's
that energy, exactly. That's, you know what I mean?
This is what we're discussing. Is it? This is what I'm saying. Is it demonic
Well,
though?
here's what I wanted to say. So,
yeah.
What I was getting, because at first I just wanted to be sure I didn't misunderstand, because I kind of thought that maybe you meant like, if you keep believing you're going to get corona, you're going to get it, or something like that. But
hey, you know what? I
it's like the good vibes and the bad vibes, you know?
Yeah, I wouldn't rule that. I wouldn't rule that. That's like a far-fetched one. But I'm talking about more. I'm more directly talking about like negative energy coming, negative energy all from all corners. Like when you go out to the shop, you have to queue up.
There is truth to what you're saying. That, you know, good vibes and a positive attitude and like, it could be anything. It could be religion. It could be whatever it is that, if you think positive, you know, like if you're fighting for your life in the hospital, right? I forget the kind of term for it, but like just your blood cells produce, you know, things to help your immune system, right? Yeah. So there is truth to that, you know what I mean, for sure. But as far as the far-fetched when you said, it definitely is far-fetched. Like, you're going to catch corona if someone passes it to you, whether you believe you're going to get it or not. Like, that just downs that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's what that's what's been said. But then we're saying about it's the G5 towers or whatever, the G5 towers. They're saying they get it from that.
It's not. So the G5 towers theory is incorrect. Only 3 countries in the world have 5G towers, EJ. Every country in the world has.
England's got G5 towers. They got one in Luton.
Okay, England, the US, and I'm trying to remember which other country. But there's only like 3 or 4 countries that have. Mm-hmm. I think it's 5, but nonetheless, it's single digits. Single digit countries have 5G towers, mm-hmm. And this started somewhere where 5G doesn't exist. Okay, now if you want to get to conspiracy theories, I wasn't buying into this one at first, if I'm honest. Although I'm still leaning towards the fact that it's the wet markets and people eating animals they shouldn't eat, and the handling process and stuff like that, and how unsanitized it is. There's some stories out there breaking through about, you know, smuggling of viruses and stuff, and how this thing got contracted either by accident or on purpose. And there's some legs on that. I'm not, you know, I'm still kind of looking into it, but there's more to that than there is to the 5G thing. The 5G thing, I'm just going to be straightforward with you. It's nonsense.
What do you think, Aldo? Do you think it's nonsense? Aldo.
Nonsense in what sense? Like,
yeah, he's there. Aldo, do you think the 5G tower is nonsense with the corona? What do you think?
Oh, the 5G part? Well, I think that 5G thing, in my opinion, it's going to enhance the internet, make it faster. It's going to speed it up. There is radio frequency waves coming out of it, just like coming out of the FM radio, you know, AM radio. There's analog, there's digital, different types of signals that are going out there. But radio frequencies, if they're specifically aimed or just broadcasted in a harmful way that is going to cause, say, radiation, and if that were to be happening, then we would see people screaming in the streets like, it's burning, kind of like if you were to be put inside a microwave. You see what I'm saying? But you know, to say that, yeah, you know what I mean. But you know, that's what I'm saying. But to say that this is the cause, that this is doing that, I think it's I think people are panicking. They're just kind of scapegoating the 5G thing. But I'm not gonna say that the 5G is not gonna cause some sort of maybe headache to someone closer to a tower. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not a scientific engineer when it comes to frequencies and going with the mind, you know. But I know enough that the frequencies are are high enough and they're directed in a sense they could cause um, disturbances in the mind. You know what I mean, like a headache, maybe blur vision, vomiting. Depends what type of frequency. Now, if it's radiation, then you can get cancer right away and develop cancer and symptoms, and you'll die. You know, but when it comes to these radio towers, I'm not going to deny the fact that they could cause certain type of minute levels of disruption. You know, something that we should be concerned of. If they get amped up to higher, say like a 10G, like what would that be like? You know, so it brings those questions up. You know, but I don't think so, man. This whole coronavirus, in my opinion, it's a combination of everything, dude. It's a combination of people eating unsanitary foods, because I seen it in California. You know, the processing plants, you know, might have processed E. coli and distributed to the world, and a lot of people got E. coli. A lot of people died. I know of a case that I studied when I was in one of my classes about a case where a machine was not cleaned properly, and it developed some type of bacteria, and it was processing peanut butter, and it killed a large group of people in the United States because the machine was not properly cleaned. You know, so when you look at these bacteria, say this is happening in an unsanitary situation, and then you got people interacting inappropriately with the environment, you know, causing pollutions and escalating, you know, or elevating the levels of pH, you know, in the water, causing different bacteria to arise, and then someone travels and they have, say, contact with another person who, just like the Aztecs, they were not immune to certain, you know, things that we're immune to now, and it caused a pandemic that killed, you know, 80% of the population. Now, is this what the coronavirus is going to do to us? You know, no, it's not. You know what I mean? But it is affecting the elderly. That's the fact. You know what I mean? But this is just an alarming situation. But it's also a wake up call. In the future, you know what I mean? If people are, you know, continue to do these particular things to the environment, to nature, to humans, and just not be sanitarily, you know, aware, then yes, man, you could cause a lot of harm, just like peanut butter, like a simple machine not being cleaned. I mean, these are facts.
Yeah. So you believe that? Okay, so that in short, you believe the G-Tower. Okay, these stars disagrees. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me. I don't know if there is a disagreement. So let me specify. Is there any evidence that 5G has caused coronavirus? Absolutely not. Okay. Coronavirus started in Wuhan, China, where there have 0 5G towers. That's where it started, right? This virus started spreading first in areas that do not have any 5G, right? If it was 5G, you would have seen a very clear correlation. Like my grandmother, EJ, she's always in the living room, and right next to her on the table is a modem. It's a 5G modem. She's 94 years old. She's been sitting next to it every day for a very long time. Okay, for about a year or something like that. Okay, she would have been dead by now. Okay, like if that was true. Now, with that said, is there a possibility that in the long run, in a long period of time, that maybe, we have no proof of it now, but is it possible that something that's unintended can happen, like it can give people cancer? Well, there's some studies that are out there wondering if talking on the cell phone all day, having it against your ear, can cause cancer. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So we're still gathering data on that. You know what I mean? So we don't know what it can do in the future, you know, but coronavirus is not it. Like, you know what I mean? In terms of the actual virus itself. So look, I think it's pretty simple, right? In what I believe happened. okay, what the evidence for the most part points to, it's not 100%, but in China, right, in particular, it's not the only place in the world, but in China, right, they get animals from all over the world, from all continents, right, and they put them in cages, in very small cages. So these animals are in high stress environments, right, surrounded by animals that are not in their habitat, right? If one of these animals is sick, they can pass their sickness to another animal and or to a human, right? So that's why they believe that in the handling process, okay, along with the unsanitary ways that they've been caught on camera handling the food, right? It's just, it isn't that hard to believe that that's where it started. It's just not that complicated, and you can trace it from the wet markets. It started there, and you can trace how it started to expand around the world, right? It ended up in Europe, and then yet later in the U.S., and now it's everywhere, and it's starting to spread everywhere, and it has nothing to do with 5G. If it did, the countries that don't have 5G wouldn't have coronavirus, if that's what was causing it. Does that make sense?
That's what I know. That's what we've been told. That's what that's what we've been told.
No, but
Now,
does it make logical sense that, like, just ask yourself this question?
yeah, go on.
They're saying that these are symptoms from 5G, caused by 5G, right? Why are people that are nowhere near 5G getting it?
I have no idea. Listen, you're right about it. Doesn't make no sense unless the ray. Well, I'm going to go by unless the rays are that powerful that it could reach over bloody the oceans into the other countries. I don't know. I'm just going by like.
What if 5G is a cure? I just kidding.
I don't know.
Bro, it's not going to reach the ocean, bro. If I go across the street, I can't get any signal, bro.
Remember, the 5G is powerful, man. I know, obviously not, but if you're on a boat, maybe. But what I'm saying, 5G is the most powerful.
That's not the towers don't reach that, and I know this, EJ, because this is what I do with my job, right? If the towers don't reach, okay, what happens is they run wires, bro, just like cable TV, right? They run wires to the homes. The homes then have a modem. That modem will then transfer 5G, right? That's how it works for the most part. Okay, there are some cases where, of course, the towers are going to exert energy and stuff, and whether or not people that live close to the towers can maybe get cancer or something like that in the future, I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? It could be symptoms we don't even know about right now. It could do heart attacks. Maybe it helps people's immune system. We don't know, right? But in terms of it causing corona, no, it doesn't cause coronavirus.
All right. Let's leave because obviously we're gonna go by facts. We're not gonna talk about stuff that we don't know. Let's talk about facts. All right. So we've talked about cannibalism. We've talked about things. So, all right. So these stars. Let's talk about the Bible a bit. Yeah. Right. See all the things that believe that Jesus walked on water and all these things there. Yeah. Like what's happened. If there was video footage, right, of Jesus walking on water, would you believe it? Like evidence that he actually walked on water, would you believe it at that point?
If I have physical evidence of it, of course.
100%?
The answer is yes. If somebody gave me physical evidence that he walked on water, I would believe yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Right. All right. Because you see, the thing is, yeah, a lot of people, yeah, even evidence is in their face that they even choose to say, well, it's not exactly out. Now, this is a bit different now, yeah? So I'm just going to say this, yeah? Let's talk about the Holocaust, yeah? The Holocaust, yeah? There's evidence there, all of bodies everywhere, yeah? Obviously from World War German, obviously they've admitted that they did that. There's some people, with all the evidence there, and the footage and the film footage, and all the victims, that they didn't happen. Why would that be, these stars? With all the evidence they have, why would people say it didn't happen? These stars still there? Dude?
I'm still here.
Oh, these stars. I'll do. You answer the question.
Well, it depends on who you're asking. I mean, if you're asking someone who participated in the genocides, the Jewish genocide, then to them it didn't happen. Or maybe to their children, no, my father never did that, or my grandfather never did that. And it's just that that self protection or protecting your own family. You doubting, and even if there's proof, you don't want to see it because there's that psychological barrier that because family comes first, and to most and a lot of families, there's a lot of love and that might prevent love blinds people, man. Love will make you do some stupid stuff. You know what I mean? And seeing the truth in front of you is something that people who are deeply in love they might not realize it. You know what I mean? And but am I? Yeah, you know what I mean. But to that sense, it's hard, man. I mean, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Am I going on?
No, you're fine. No, I'm just saying, like, because sometimes people have evidence in front of them, they still choose to deny. But I'm just saying because like a lot of times, yeah, like there's evidence there clearly. Like we was boxing, right? Give an example. We was boxing, yeah. Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather. Clearly, see there was nothing wrong with Manny Pacquiao, but after the fight, said his shoulder wasn't well, and he had to have surgery. Blah blah blah. But he clearly see that he was throwing punches with the hand. But millions of people from the Philippines believe, yeah, no, he wasn't okay. You know what I mean? There's evidence there. He's throwing the shot. So even if there's evidence there, people still choose not to believe it. You know what I mean? But you make a case. People believe what they want to believe, right? That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, in a way, yes.
Right. Oh well. Listen. What we're gonna do now? We're gonna wrap up. You've been a great guest, man. I'm glad. Actually, D-Stars has jumped back as well. Let me get D-Stars 5. I'm still gonna look to wrap up. D-Stars.
And my battery died. But
because we chatting a bit. I made the effort.
I got working in 3 hours, bro. That's funny.
I'll make this brief. I was saying about the Holocaust there. Some people don't believe the Holocaust happened, even though there's video footage, there's witnesses, even the guards say they did it, but people don't believe it. But there's evidence. Why would that be? But this is what I'm talking about in evidence. Like there's certain people say that Jesus walked on water. There's evidence, even though you don't believe the Bible, there were actual people who said they seen it. So what you said? Go ahead.
Interesting. Okay, so two different things, but the Holocaust, like you said, we have evidence. I mean, like real evidence, and we have real accounts, like the soldiers that showed up, and the Allies, and so on and so forth. And then, one of the worst mistakes. It was not on purpose, but when these the people, like the victims of the Holocaust, the survivors, I mean, they were in such bad condition that, the Allies tried to feed them, and a lot of them died after eating too much because their bodies couldn't take that, right? There's definitely enough evidence to prove the Holocaust is real. I believe you asked me if there was evidence that showed Jesus walked on water, would I accept it?
Yeah.
Then yes, if there was evidence of it, absolutely, right? But but there isn't. So, and there isn't accounts that people saw him walk on water. It's just something somebody wrote in a book. Like there's no real evidence or anything like that about that.
You see, the people who wrote the book, do you believe the people who wrote the book actually existed in the Bible?
Well, somebody wrote it. I mean, but I mean these books were written I don't know the exact timeline, but at least over 100 years after Jesus was dead. So I don't understand how they could write an account of of witness, if they wrote it that far, in the future. That's an incredible claim. I mean, no one, with reason could believe that. You know what I mean? Now, is it? Look, like I said in the beginning, right? If somebody wants to believe that, there's nothing wrong with that. Like it doesn't harm anybody. If someone believes that, and cool.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, El Dude, actually, I'll ask El Dude about it as well. I guess we're gonna wrap up because I know you gotta go work. I was hoping more people would have came in. I really enjoying the religious topics that these styles are what they start. Go ahead. No one say something.
Well, I guess that a lot of us are asleep. I think that's what it is.
That's probably it's probably true. But I definitely gonna continue the religious topics because everyone's got something to say about it and how they think, and even the other day, Cali Enigma, your one, and obviously down on Unbiased's channel, my channel. El Dude, if you do it as well, like we I'm sure looking to jump on it. But I believe that in this time, there's always like spiritual religion or whatever you believe in. Let's have a conversation about that. Other than boxing, because we're mainly boxing guys, yeah. But like we said, we don't pull no punches and we come at hard. But I think today is a nice, casual conversation about where you believe. Whoever's listening, hope you enjoyed the content and you enjoyed yourself.
I mean, let me say this really quick.
You go ahead.
Right. I mean, debates are fun. I like engaging in debates. However, dialogue and conversation allows people to have a better understanding of what somebody feels and what somebody's perspective. You know what I mean? I think sometimes debates don't accomplish anything. Like, when's the last time you heard a debate where one person said, "Hey, man, you convinced me"? I haven't heard one like that in a while. So. Debates could just become like a battle of egos more than anything. But for these type of topics, not that you can't debate. Debate's going to happen. Disagreements are going to happen. But dialogue like this definitely it goes farther than like one of those debates where there's a moderator and then you speak and then the other guy speaks. And for these type of topics, you know what I mean?
No, I mean, listen, I was hoping that guy. Listen, some people are quite difficult. You know, I mean, we get along with each other pretty well, and but in the end of the day, there's people out there. It's a trying times and stuff like that, and people want to cling on to what they believe. But everyone's, like you said, everyone's got a right, and no one should be pressured into be forcing them to believe in thing. And obviously, everyone's when you go into any religious thing, there's always tugging and pulling you to come here. Makes you come this, yeah, always, even to the point where it's overly aggressive. Have you ask you as well, these before we go, have you experienced overly aggressive people trying to force you to come to their church or put money down the church overly to the point where, because in England there was a one where the people in the church ask for your credit card. They actually want the number of your credit card so they can take money out of your account. That was actually over here.
I have had friends that tried to, I wouldn't say force, but persuaded me to join them in church and stuff like that. But I don't think anyone's ever like twisted my arm or try to force me.
Well, okay, that's all right. Well, you know what I mean? What about you, El Dude?
My earphones ran out of battery. And I was struggling with the Bluetooth speaker. So if you guys speak, there might be an echo because I got you guys on speaker now. What was the question again?
Yeah. In regards to religion, has anyone tried to force you into religion, ask you to donate money and stuff like that? Have they done that? Have they forced it on you?
Yeah, the charity thing that always happens in my community. There's always people asking for money for religious groups, especially in Christmas time. You see people wearing their outfits, and they might say it's for some charity group for their church or something. I don't care. I don't if I can, I will donate. I'm not biased towards any religion. If I see a Muslim group asking for charity, for a good cause, I'm going to do it. If I see a Christian, a Jehovah, I'm going to do it. Because at the end of the day, they're doing it for a good cause. But if I know that someone's lying and saying, "Oh, this Catholic,"
yeah, bro, I didn't even realize it was so aggressive over there in America, man. Why I didn't know that. It's so overly aggressive these days. Well,
like, what do you mean, like religious people?
Yeah, like that's what he said. That's what LD's saying.
Yeah, there's a lot of charity. It's very aggressive when it comes to charity. A lot of people. You mean the aggressiveness in charity? You mean, or
aggressive, trying to take money. Yeah, trying to get your dough.
Oh yeah, they don't even charge for you to go into a church.
They charge you to go into the church.
There's these large gatherings where these famous preachers would go and give their testimony, and they charge at the gate. Yes, or parking as well and stuff like that. So there's a profit, or the music that they sell. Yeah, the bands. Yeah, definitely. There's a big market to it. Yes.
Good gosh, I didn't even know that. All right, I keep thinking I'm going, but let me, because there's one thing. D-Stars, I was listening to D-Stars on the net. D-Stars, what do you think? So D-Stars, explain. See the people, the pastors or the priests, whatever it is, they put their hands on people's heads and try to heal them. Why don't you believe that? Why don't you believe that the people heal? Because the people who have their hands on their head, they obviously, you see them like, God's bless them. They believe that they're healed. Whatever their ailment is, they believe like they're healed. Like in the Bible, they said that God washed away. Someone was blind and he washed their eyes.
Tell you what, okay?
Go on.
So anyone who believes that someone could touch you in the head or just put their hands over you and heal you that way, never go to a doctor. Never go to a hospital. Don't take any medicine. Just do that. And then we'll like if you really believe it, just do that. Because if you're still going to a doctor, if you're still going getting medicine, then you get what I'm saying? So no, I don't believe that you could put your hand over somebody's head and cure them. I don't believe that.
I think when it comes to putting someone's hands like that and giving that spiritual energy, it's the same thing as when you go see a motivational speaker or a comedian or even a boxing match. There's a rush. There's something that you want to get out of it. There's a feeling. If you go to the opera, you might not scream, but you're definitely gonna enjoy the play or the event. So that when you when you talk about people that believe in being touched by a miracle hand, and you'll see them drop on the ground. What they're basically doing is they're letting themselves go just as much as when someone goes to a dance and tries to dance as the best moves that they could do in front of a lady or something. It's not that they're possessed by an outer being, but it is an energy that they're creating within themselves that is possessing them to act in a certain way.
What about the people who say they can't walk, or they're in a wheelchair, and then the pastor puts his head in and they get up and start walking, and people who around them say they never walked before, and like they're testifying that they walk. Like, what? Is someone lying? Like, you seen this woman, she never walked before. She's been in this wheelchair for years, and the pastor puts his hand on her head, and this woman gets up and starts walking.
No, there is some truth to that. There's definitely some truth to that. And let me explain. There's like even like, for example, depression. Depression could drop someone to the ground and keep them down, and they won't get up. They'll go into some vegetable coma state.
These stars not having none of that, but no, this is not having none of that.
Look, the man, okay? Putting your hand on somebody's head and all that doesn't.
No, this is where I'm going at. So there's someone who's in this state of mind. It could be even a lazy person who would not be moved in a wheelchair, maybe with unhealthy. They haven't got up with the wheelchair. You'll see so many obese people that they just don't get up. Now, if they go to see a motivational speaker, or in this case, a religious person, right, and they feel that energy, that adrenaline, adrenaline can make you do some crazy stuff, man. Now these people might get that adrenaline for the first time and feel it, and then just get up from years of doing nothing. And then the family could be like, man, I saw this person speak, put their hands on this person, and they got up and they took steps that they haven't done in, say, 10 years from now. Because something spiritually, right, mentally, whatever you want to call it, motivated, it sparked them. It gave them that energy. But to say,
have you seen that though? Have you actually seen that? Like, because you know,
can I say this? Can I say this?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, if somebody's like Paul Williams, right?
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
No one's gonna put their like just by putting their hand on his head are not gonna cure the fact that he broke his spine. You know what I mean? Like that's just not gonna happen. Now, motivating somebody to do something is different, right? But as far as curing diseases and healing people that way is it's got to be honest, it's nonsense.
Yeah, I'm not talking about. I don't know. Unless you're Mike Tyson,
I've seen people like testify their spine's been broke. They got in car accidents. They've been in near-death situations, and God came and someone one in the past put their hands on them and healed them. You know, took them out their thing. You know, so these those didn't happen.
And in the day of like you know where they have everything to show as evidence, none of them can.
Well, let me ask you guys a question. I mean, that we've been talking about believing demons, and you guys believe in angels.
Yeah.
What, do we believe in angels? Do I believe in angels?
Yeah, walking around could heal people or something. I don't know. An angel being from God, you know, just like there's a demonic being or the devil himself, and an angel. You guys believe in angels?
Can I give a short answer?
Go ahead.
I know you're gonna say no.
No.
Do you believe in angels? In it?
Highway to heaven, brother.
Yeah. I realize, I didn't realize in the Latin community, just by the two of you.
But then again, though,
yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, I think my ex is a demon, but that's a different story.
I didn't realize in the Latin community, the spiritual thing is in the West Indies is very high. We have 7-day Adventists where people go to church on Saturday. They believe that was the day of that was the day for the Sabbath. They believe on Saturday, and in the West Indies, yeah, the religion is high. Like this sort of conversation you couldn't have. They'd get angry and they'd get angry. And that's nothing as well. Like we're having a conversation, right? We're not getting angry. We're not getting. Go ahead.
I have aunts that swear they've seen the devil, and you know what I mean, that fought the devil off with prayer and stuff like that. But I've never, like I said, I'm agnostic, bro. Like anything's possible, but I'm not. I've never witnessed it. I've never experienced it, and I see no evidence of it. That's all.
How about divine intervention? I mean, not necessarily an angel, but say like divine intervention would. A person was put there for a specific reason at that specific time, just for you to hear that message.
Don't believe it.
You, inspire you, or for whatever reason. In that sense.
These stars not having
it. I don't know, man. Maybe my grandfather was around, so he could introduce me to boxing. You know, I don't know, but I don't. I just don't. I'm not having it now.
These does everything. So basically, with everything has to be worked out logically. That's what you're saying. Like everything has a logic and a fact. Oh, that's because when you were talking to atheist Duncan, you were saying about this. You were talking about gravity. That's proven, isn't it? Like gravity, innit? You know what I mean? Yes. What goes up must come down.
Yes. When you drop whether it's a pin or a bottled water or a brick, it falls at a known acceleration to the ground and at the same speed every single time.
So you see, the thing is, though, in the Bible, so mostly in the Bible, what you're trying to say is hocus pocus, stuff made up that, you know. But you see, the thing is, these though. Let's look at this. Be real now. Me and you both watched the Game of Thrones now, yeah. Right? Mm. The Game of Thrones is you know, remember the Lannisters? They didn't believe in dragons, you know. They weren't having it. They were saying the same thing. They were mostly saying the same thing until bloody Tyrion saw it with his own 2 eyes. I don't think what's his name again? The other guy. I don't think he ever saw it, but they didn't. The Lannisters didn't.
I mean, I always found that strange because they literally had dragon skulls like in the basements. And,
yes,
yeah, you know
yes.
what I mean? I always found that weird. Like, why would they be so shocked about that? But that aside,
That's a good point.
that's a show. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but okay, yeah. It's good. It was a good point, though. But that's like more or less like saying about dinosaurs, right? Where they're dinosaurs, people like, well, the skeletons there, they must have, but people say like, I'll keep going. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it as this, man. We've been with a great chat. D Styles Boxing, El Dude. Yeah, make sure I had a great chat with you guys there. I'm looking to do another one again. I'll probably do another one again. Hopefully, like you said, it's the time at 8 people are watching, so I'm sure you guys enjoy yourself with D Styles. Hopefully, we can get someone in who's a bit more combative, because I think all of us three, we kind of all agree with each other. El Dude, do you want to tell people where they can find you?
I'm not that busy when it comes to social media. I just have a YouTube channel, El Dude, and that's my personal one. But it's like the same. It's like the boxing comments and the El Dude is like that. The same. It's like the brand channel and I'm not sure how to explain it. You guys, there's like 2 in 1 for some strange reason. It's the same Google Gmail thing. So if I get 3 strikes on one, I lose both of them. In other words, so I'm trying to be very careful with because I bought a lot of movies. I have a lot of movies that I bought on my channel, so I'm trying not to get strikes, get my channel deleted.
What movies you got on your channel? What movies you got on your channel?
I got a lot of movies. I got a lot of comedy movies. Like I can name a few. I got like Norbit. That was just one of them. Grandma's Boy.
Oh, you dangerous. You playing with it, man. That's playing with fire, man. You should go get took down. Why you playing that for your channel? Hey, everyone's got it on DVD. You play with fire, man.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff bought and just downloaded, and a lot of cartoons too for my kids, just to be on the run. So I'm trying not to be too busy, but I also got that boxing comments. But man, I'm not too busy, man. I'm just out here to enjoying your guys' content too. Just yeah.
All right, man, that's cool. D Styles, tell people where they can find you if they don't know already. D Styles. I think he's having connection problems. Well, you guys can check out D Styles. Obviously, you can see his name right there. You type that in YouTube, like you can type El Dude, and you will find him on YouTube. I think he's having connection problems, so that's a shame because I wanted him to say goodbye, man. It's been really good having you guys over. I'm EJ Boxing Live. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for coming over. Peace.
Peace.
Nice one, bro.